don't think that he's good for you.
How do you know what's good for me?
That's my opinion!
Don't you get it? Why can't anybody have an opinion but you?
That I don't think that he's good.
How do you know? It's my opinion. Yes, we are indeed back. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Hello, and we are back. Hey, everyone. Hello, Mama Bees. Thank you so much. Thank you. I appreciate everyone that was able to come back. And I see the sister moderators in the chat. We have Linda Gamble. Happy Monday, Sandra Pease, Gen Extra. Happy Monday to you, Linda. Thank you so much for joining me. And I appreciate you reminding me of the banner. I will keep that running. It is about fair use. It's for my protection. So everything I cover, I share. It is under Copyright Act of 1976, Section 107. And of course, everything is alleged and in my own opinion. So thank you so much. I appreciate that, Linda. You can support the channel by way of super stickers and super chats. Thank you so much. Yes, I still get a kick out of getting those. I appreciate that. Thank you, everybody. Hit the like button on your way into the chat. Yes, let's use it as a doorbell. Just as you come in, click the like button. I thank you for that. Linda's like, comment, subscribe, hype the video. Yes, Team Replay, you get the special hype feature, and that does help push the video in the YouTube algorithm. Thank you. Toot Toot, welcome to Toot. Beep Beep, hey everyone. Toot, thank you for joining us in the chat. Yes, we are back. Thank you, Mama Bees, one of the sister moderators. Also, Cece, welcome to Sandra Pease Gen Extra. Thank you. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe. And that does push me in the YouTube algorithm. It's really helpful for a smaller, growing content creator. We're looking for that 1,000 wow. Yes, we are looking for that 1,000 wow. And right back in time is another smaller but growing content creator. One of my friends on the YouTube streets, Kiwan JTV. Thank you for coming in to support. I appreciate it. Oh, Ro was in the live, but it was ending. I'm sorry, I missed her. Y'all know we love Ro. And I would have loved to get a little bit of insight from Ro. Thank you for letting me know. Ro has been very supportive, everybody. She put up a story of the coverage of the live that I did for her. So I always appreciate Ro. And now we get Labrina and others seeing that there is a show behind the show. So come on, y'all. If they don't like what editing is doing, sometimes you got to get out there and put your own spin on it. Put some of that Giselle hot sauce on it. Cece speaking to everyone. Hey, everyone, again. Thank you so much, Cece, for coming back into the chat. I really appreciate it. The moderators give their time and they're dedicated. And y'all, it's an unpaid job. You see some of the larger channels blessing the moderators as they can. No such a thing. They get blessed with my thanks and my smile, but I mean it, and I'm sincere about it. I appreciate you every time I see you in the chat. I really do. And also my fellow creators that support me. I work to try to support them when I can while working on my own channel. So Kiwan J, I do appreciate you as well. And everyone that is a regular and comes here and spends time with me. I appreciate it. You just listening to me talk. I love it. I love it. So I do treat the channel seriously, but as I said earlier, I think one of the things I want to work on is my own consistency. So that you'll know like when to expect me. And I want to be here for you and just talk to you about the things that we enjoy talking about, the fun things. So on this, with this live, I'm going to cover Real Housewives of Atlanta. They are still in Scotland. They're on the second day in Scotland. And these ladies are in this castle. They get ready to turn the castle out, really, is what they're getting ready to do. They have breakfast, which I consider the breakfast kind of trader style. So they're in that castle. They have that long table. You know how they kind of stroll into breakfast one by one. If you watch Traders, I haven't finished the UK. It didn't really catch me like the American because I know the people that they have on there or know of them. And that is the one that kind of got me interested in it. And then now that they've incorporated Bravo celebrities, it's even more interesting. So this, of course, is Phaedra and Porsha's trip. And they start at the table. You know how these ladies are. Phaedra asked them, you know, how did you sleep? I was actually on, she names the site. They get more free promo, y'all, for this nasty site that K. Michelle brought up. K. Michelle, what's wrong with you? Just make sure you concentrate on healing instead of trying to put all this stuff out into the atmosphere that You don't have to put it out there. It's going to be out there. But they mentioned the name no less than 10 times, y'all. So they're talking about that a little bit. Who was on it? We get this whole lesson that you couldn't access it. Phaedra says it's forbidden. So corn is, or certain types of corn is forbidden in the UK. So I didn't know that. I guess it's good to know. I don't know. So Porsha's in a confessional saying, yeah, when you come in, you got to download it or screenshot it. And then Porsha, most of the people don't really care about that, but obviously you do. So again, they're letting her say what she wants to say about that. Okay, fine. They have a whole day planned. They're going to do activities. As I said, it's kind of a Traders type trip. So of course, in Traders, after they have their breakfast, Alan Cumming has a ton of things for them to do. And it consists of leaving the castle, going on location, and kind of playing games, almost like a grown people's field day. So we'll look at it as that. Let me see if there's any other comments. Y'all, I don't know what happened to the comments. They were here and now they're not. I'll put them on stage. Okay, they're on stage, but I can't see them. So I'm going to go ahead and run them on stage, everybody, okay? I'll leave that there. I'm not sure why I can't see the comments, but for right now, I won't be reading them until I get them back. I'm not sure what happened. So Phaedra said, well, where's Angela? And she said her big feet must have got stuck in something. On cue, here comes Angela. I heard my name, but she's saying it kind of friendly. Now, Angela, let's be fair. If that had been Shamea, you would have been ready to rip that girl's head off. You'd have been going crazy. But luckily, everything is still cool, calm, and collected. Shamea is, of course, they are saying what the game is going to be like. So it's some kind of game where you get to flip a log, and Shamea's in her confessional, of course, being a little bit rude. She's saying, I'm used to flipping big logs. Hey, Gerald. So I said, this girl's a mess. Cynthia asked a question to the guy. They had two guys in kilts that were kind of hosting the game. And he's like, no. She asked him if she could do something. I didn't write down what he said. And Pinky said, Cynthia seemed like she kind of liked that. She said, tell me what to do. So Kay is up. She's going to get a chance to flip a log or whatever she was doing. They call her by this corn site name that she has informed them of. Y'all, this went on a little too long. An unfunny joke, we'll call it that. They have two of, I don't know if they call them Haggis, or maybe I got that name from, that's the guy's name from Traders, but they're in kilts. Kay's in a confessional, and I agree with you on this, Kay. Why, when people get money, they start doing all this type of stuff that nobody really wants to do? Everybody is trying their hands at flipping the logs. Some are better than others. Angela, who looks very athletic, is actually terrible at it. So she claims that she's got an injured rotator cuff. But when Angela is in her confessionals, she gets this kind of sly expression on her face. You can't tell if she's lying or not. So Angela, I think you might be a little bit of a big liar, and we're catching her in more lies, but she's saying it's a rotator cuff. So I hope you're not really injured, Angela. You seem like you were kind of lying. Phaedra's in a confessional. Now, Phaedra has a lot of shade for Angela in confessionals, too. So I can't wait to see this reunion. I know y'all had Andy Cohen pumped up. He said it's the most fun he's had at a reunion in years. It reminds him of the older reunions. So I'm glad to hear that. I'm really looking forward to it. Phaedra, in her confessional, she says, Angela needs to stick to being a PI. She's good at being a private investigator. So leave the sports to Charles. So there's Phaedra shading Angela. We got Phaedra is saying that K Michelle's next. So K Michelle is up. She said that her nails were, that was Phaedra. Her nails were preventing her from actually what she was supposed to do, or else she would have been better. But Phaedra, I think you're lying too, because I remember her on Traders. She excelled at the interpersonal part of the game, but I don't remember her doing too much on field day when they had these physical events, which I don't blame her. There were people that excelled at certain things and then they excelled at other things. Like some of the men, if they were really good at sports and that sort of thing, some of them didn't have a really good social game. Phaedra's social game was immaculate, got her very far. So Pinky is up. Pinky says she had no problem tossing logs. And Pinky is athletic with her little self. The host said, well done. So Pinky was doing kind of a good job. Kay couldn't play. Kay was saying, this overconstructed, I'm in another country. I'm not trying to fall down. Y'all, I hate to say it this way, but I'm just going to be plain spoken. K Michelle is almost disabled. She can't get wet. She can't fall down. She can't sit on a boot. She can't do so many things. Now, she's blessed with the things she can do, but Kay, you almost seriously disabled. At this point, this is crazy. They're going to do tug of war next. That's one of the events that they're doing. And Cynthia's already saying, she said, I'm actually trying to swap out Pinky because Pinky is real. Pinky is very, she is competitive to the point where, you know how you play games with people and it's fun, you having fun, or if you laugh or something, you get a Pinky on the team and the person's so competitive, they start getting mad at you that you're not taking it seriously enough and that sort of thing. Pinky's one of them. So Cynthia kind of wants to swap Pinky out. Pinky's in the confessional. She said, I don't even care what it looked like. I ain't losing. So Pinky is bringing her Baltimore out. So I found that really funny. Cynthia wants to swap her out. So basically, we almost got the talls and the smalls back. Talls and the smalls part 2. I missed that. So we used to have who? Claudia, Kenya, and Cynthia. And they had poor Nene on the outs, but then they would be against Candy, Phaedra. I forgot who the other small was at that time. But the talls and the smalls part 2. This time they only doing tug of war. Kelly's on the team, y'all. Kelly's getting dragged. So when you're as little as Kelly, you can't even be on the front. You can't be in the back. If you're in the middle, you're going to get slammed. But Kelly's being dragged, and the ladies are falling down laughing. And this is why I like cash trips. They have parts of the trip where it's going to be really fun. So Drew was saying the way her legs were just up in the air. And then Porsha was saying, not just lay there. Because at one point, Kelly couldn't do anything. And luckily, Kelly still has a big old booty. So I think that saved her from being hurt. She was being dragged along the ground, and she had her little legs just sticking out. Porsha said her little size 2 feet just up, and they were. We get a confessional from Phaedra saying, they dragged her like a rag doll on a bad day. They did. Angela did a confessional where she's kind of shading. She said, I've been waiting to drag Kelly's A, and I got a chance to. So Kelly made me laugh on her confessional. She says, well, I did end up on my back, but I wasn't with nobody's boyfriend or husband. So, and then she demonstrates and kicks her little legs up again for production. Yeah, I don't know if the rumors are true, if Shamea and Kelly are gone. I don't know. Production likes Kelly. And Kelly has grown on me. There are things about Kelly that really get under my skin and annoy me. But Kelly kind of knows how to play the game. I like Kelly. So when they're going to go back. They have all this. Phaedra and Porsha have a whole day plan. They're eating something that includes brains and intestines. The closest thing I can compare it to would be something like a chitlins, which would be a Southern, almost a delicacy, but we all know it came out of times when Blacks were enslaved and would basically be thrown the scraps and manage to make it something edible and even a delicacy. So usually that would be something considered, as kids would say, yucky, but it's not yucky. They made it good. So we get the, tasting something that you don't really like and people acting like, oh, it's so nasty, which I find a little rude. Just try it. You don't have to eat it. Don't eat it. I don't know that I tried or not. I don't know. P. Willie says she would put it like a Sunday dinner, put it with some yams and gravy and this, that, and the other. So it did put me in the mind of chitlins when she said it like that. And the whole day that they have planned, they are able to sit around and talk. I like that a lot. Somebody said, well, Kelly, were you okay? Remember when we left last week, Kelly had came into the room, Team Fun, otherwise known as Frickin' Frack. Drew and Cynthia were sitting in the room on the bed, and Drew was on her phone, not being messy, but just, scrolling the social media streets, and said, and found out that Kelly's ex-husband has filed a $200 million lawsuit against Bravo. So that man's trying to get Kelly fired. He really is. And Kelly was upset about it. So they kind of spoke life into Kelly, and Porsha's letting her know, if you need me, if you need anything, you can call us. And they wanted to embrace Kelly. Now, last week I said it, and I still think that this week, and I see it come to fruition. Porsha does mean that partially. I think she meant it. I think Cynthia meant it. Drew could take or leave Kelly. Who else was in there that I think Phaedra meant it, because Phaedra is giving her the free legal care, and Phaedra Park's time is anything but free. Phaedra's not involved if it doesn't involve a check. So for her to do something pro bono meant a lot. And I think she's sincere. Now, Porsha, she partially means it, but she also, I think, is using Kelly. If she brings Kelly in and they're friends, she gets to totally isolate Shamea. That's what I see. I feel like Shamea now sees what it is. She's a little slow, but now she sees it. So they were asking Kelly, was she okay after the conversation from last night? And then, of course, I also mentioned during last week's review, the people that were not in there, and production didn't even go to their rooms and show us what was going on. Team Not Fun. That included Shamea, K. Michelle, Angela. Yeah, Angela, they didn't include you either. Were not included. And also Pinky Cole. Now, I don't read anything into that as far as Pinky, because I think Pinky, there were people that started out adamant. She don't belong, get her out of here. And now Pinky's changing audience views. I'm one of the ones, I didn't really care for Pinky. I thought Pinky came across a little bit, trying to be a boss, but she is a boss. She's just one of those people. She presents herself a certain way. It can get a little bit on your nerves, but I think that Pinky is a good fit. And I don't do any season 1 eliminations unless you do something egregious like a Brit Edie where you're threatening somebody. So they mentioned the conversation from last night. Team Sour Sack was against Team Fun, and Team Fun was in the room and they were speaking to Kelly. So after that, Kelly said that, things are okay. Her and Porsha are doing better. Shamea's giving kind of a stink face. Shamea now sees that, yes, Shamea, you are the odd lady out. We get another scene where Pinky and K. Michelle are discussing Shamea, and Pinky saying she's kind of off. She got a lot of things going on. Now, Pinky showed a lot more compassion to Shamea in this conversation than K. Michelle did. At this point, I don't know what Shamea has done to K. Michelle other than K. Michelle has let us know she doesn't like the fact that Shamea is letting her know that Atlanta, which she calls the little mean girl clique of Candy, Rashida, Yandy, whomever else. Kay calls them Atlanta. They're not Atlanta, but they are certainly a circle in Atlanta. That Shamea is kind of suffering or making a sacrifice to be friends with Kay, because Atlanta don't want her to be friends with Kay. So Kay is saying, yeah, she's going through a lot, but she was saying, I don't have no one in the group but Kelly, and I'm sitting right here. Now, that is kind of rude. If somebody you're trying to be a friend with and feel you've been a friend said, I don't have anybody but this person, and the person's not you, that's kind of hurtful. So Kay said, I've been trying to be a friend, but Kay, you've been a wet blanket up until now. We are episode 14, and Kay, you've been a complete and total wet blanket, breaking down, you crying all the time. So I'm not going to let you do that to Shamea. But production backs it up. Now, this is the part that is a little scary for Shamea in case she wants to leave. They show us all these different scenes of Shamea getting into it with people, being a wet blanket. Of course, the infamous Dallas trip in the dirty room, even though that was her and Kelly. And then Pinky actually argued with Angela on their behalf. And Pinky was questioning Cynthia. But of course, they're all blaming Shamea. So Pinky is saying their battles being fought. She's mentally checked out. And I didn't like the fact that K. Michelle said, I'm watching this girl just spiral. I hope she get over it before she say something she's not going to be able to take back. She's going to regret it for the rest of her life. Now, this is foreshadowing because I think that something did happen that she's going to have a lot of regrets over. Kay says, I watched this girl turn into a monster. K. Michelle, a monster? You don't have to like Shamea, but I'm not going to jump on a bandwagon or be crazy. Shamea is not a monster. Shamea is not scary. Shamea can't read the room. Shamea is desperate to be liked. And that is not as dangerous as people make it out to be. So we see Shamea. Shamea says, I'm festering. I'm like a pimple on a teenager's face. I'm ready to pop. So Porsha's at the table. That was in a confessional. Shamea's sitting in real time at the table. She's not saying anything. Porsha's still doing her grand Porsha. And she's saying, when women decide to pour into each other, it's real different. So y'all, Porsha's laying it on thick. No sight of P. Willie, no sight of peach juice. And I wish Shamea was able to lean into who she really is. Shamea is the fun one. To me, if we remember her during her sidekick days, She wasn't sitting around with a scrunched face. Shamea was fun and she's funny. And now we only get like when she's being silly in her confessionals and she's shake, rattling, rolling and doing the Shamea and all this kind of stuff. I don't know. I feel badly for what is happening with her. Let me see if I can get these comments back. I'm going to take them off the stage because I want to go back and see if I can put them. Yay, there they are. So I can go back and we can, everybody, if you just joined the room, as you know, I engage with the comments, but I went kind of lengthy because for some reason I clicked something and I could not see the comments. So that's why I was showing them on stage. So excuse me for being repetitive. Welcome in, but I'm going to go through and get the comments, y'all, because I like to engage with them. And let's see. Chantel Hector, thank you so much for joining us during the live. It is great to see you. She came in and said, good morning. Thank you for joining us. I appreciate you joining us during the live. So Cece says the reunion was fun to Andy. Probably means someone was broken all the way down. He's King Messy. Cece, oh my goodness. It's not hot in the house. I think I can put my cloak of immunity on. I might have to put that over me. Toward the end, I will have to put it on for Shamea, y'all. Toward the end, I'm just going to have to put it. I told y'all my sister, this is Sandra P's cloak of immunity. This is where I get corny like Shamea. This is why I have compassion for Shamea. Y'all, and fill me in. And there's a lot of things that I'm sure she's done. But what Cece just said, if the reunion was fun, Andy is King Messy. We've seen him do it over the years. And I think he used to have fun and enjoy breaking down women's friendships. Carlos King goes a step further. And I mentioned him because Carlos likens himself to an Andy. He wants to be kind of like Andy. You don't have to break down someone's family and break down friendships. And we've watched Andy do it over the years. I think he did it bringing Melissa Gorga on Jersey the way he did. I'm so glad they've made up. And I think that it's a real makeup too. I think that they really made up. So I'll go through all the comments. Everybody welcome Chantel Hector. And I don't recognize your name if you've been in here before. I hope it is not the last time if this is your first. So if you're not subscribed, if you go ahead and subscribe, you'll be able to find it again. So we get weekly reviews on Real Housewives of Atlanta, as well as other Bravo and OWN shows. Chantel says, how's everyone today? Hope all's well. It's raining over here. It's kind of rainy where I am too. I'm on the East Coast. Yeah, I think Porsha is lying. Shamea is telling the truth. Oh, okay. So we're going to see where this breaks down. I actually think that Porsha is lying as well. And I think that two things can be true. Shamea, we need to know more about what Porsha's talking about. Because Shamea threw a bomb and Porsha threw a grenade. When we get to that part, we'll talk about it. So everybody welcome Chantel Hector in. Thank you so much. Porsha didn't want this to come out, period. And I see where Porsha can get taking friends, man, from her mommy. Well, I have been saying Madam Diane has trained Porsha well, and she's trained Porsha in her own image. Team Shamea. I'll try to be objective, but I can see where you are getting that view from, Chantel Hector. And I'm going to allude back to what Cece said, somebody being broken all the way down. If Shamea went to that reunion alone, and she hasn't posted one thing about the reunion. And Gerald, I like Gerald, but Gerald, you need to show up for Shamea sometime. Just sit behind her. Can you imagine during the reunions where Nene would be like in the hot seat? Greg will be sitting right behind her. I don't like the fact that Shamea but she does show up alone. I would like it if she had support. But Gerald's not the type. He's not going to be going back and forth with these women. AB says, I'm late. They just showed up to clip the dog's nails. Oh, okay, AB. I know you got to keep them together. But thank you for making time to come in during the live. I actually kind of just got started reading the comments. Sandra, you're full of energy, which is good. Thank you. Chantel Hector, thank you so much. I appreciate it. I enjoy this topic. I love talking about these messy ladies. And everyone who is always here knows that I actually love the cast trip. So we're day 2 in Scotland, and it's a traders-based trip, which makes it even more fun. And then hosted by freaking Frack. I mean, who could ask for more? Kelly's husband is another Dusty. AB, I hate what this man has done with Kelly. I really do. And Kelly is a mess. And I think Kelly married this man for money. Kelly lied to us when she was arguing with Porsha. I think it was last season. I'm married for love. I said, come on now, Kelly. We can't go with you there. We saw that wedding picture. Stop. Chantel says, I really think this group, minus Angela, will be okay at some point. But it's over between Shamea and Porsha for sure. Yeah, Chantel Hector, I did think I like the ensemble cast. I wouldn't even get rid of Angela just yet, but I think Angela has kind of overcorrected. I think that Angela liked hearing people say, "Oh yeah, shade assassin. She's shading everybody. She's this, she's that," and now she's doing all this shading all the time. And Angela, you don't have to do that every confessional. I don't understand why she's doing that. Even if she doesn't have anything against somebody, she'll go in the confessional and slam them. Like Kelly, when Kelly was being dragged along at tug of war, that was just cute and funny. Kelly hasn't done anything to Angela, so why were you waiting to drag Kelly, Zay? Kelly could have been hurt. Luckily, she got a little booty and she was able to just bounce along and it wasn't too bad. I love K. Michelle. K. Michelle had a rough start and I didn't really care for her the way she was showing up at first, but she's been able to turn it around and improve herself a little bit. You're in good company, Chantel Hector, American Born, and a few others. Love K. Michelle. I'm giving K. Michelle grace. I never call for anybody first season to be one and done, unless I said it has to be something crazy like Britt Eady. I wanted gone because she threatened Kenya. But I feel like Britt could have kept her job if she showed up to the reunion. And the way she was showing up toward the end, and when Kelly turned on her and all of that, people love an underdog. I think that, and now she's divorcing that terrible man. I think that she actually maybe could have stayed. I like Angela and her reads. ABC. I like, and she's directing that to show and tell. Yeah, I think Angela does have a place. I want her to settle down. Angela lies too much. Chantel Hector, we're going to see her weasel out of this because Shamea and Porsha going scorched earth. Angela sitting over here drinking her little shot and eating her snacks. Angela, you started this. Angela is lying on Shamea about the Greenbeard, the Hawks, the Falcons. She done blame everybody in Atlanta of going with Shamea, with the exception of she ain't said nothing about the Atlanta Braves. I guess they down in spring training. But it's crazy. AB says, I agree. Shamea was fun as a friend of. Yeah, I think that's her natural role, the American Born. I think people told her, like, girl, you got the biggest house, you got the most money, you're gonna come on there, you're gonna take Portrait Throne, you're gonna be HBIC. Why do you want to be HBIC? Everybody wants to be Beyonce. Beyonce be working her tail off. Kelly, that's the slot. That's what you want. Like on Dreamgirls when they had Effie, of course, with The Voice, and then you had Dina with The Voice, and then the one, what is her name? The Loretta Devine character, Princess Tiana. She was saying, let Dina do all the work. That's me. I'll back up sing all day. I'll tell you that. But Shamea was a great sidekick. And I think this is pressure on her. I do agree with what K. Michelle was saying there. Like something is eating at her. But then K. Michelle said she turned into a monster. There's nothing monstrous about Shamea. We got to be careful with our words. I don't know why she became public enemy number one. And Cece, now I'm getting a little bit nervous since you mentioned Andy being... why he might have been so happy that he might have broken someone or watched somebody get broken all the way down. I'm getting kind of discouraged thinking about that. Who y'all? Shamea seems like she could skin Porsha and wear her, she would. Cece, that's a little bit dangerous. Sometimes you do see those kind of friends that are envious, like a single black female type thing. Chantel says, just like Angela made up that mess on Phaedra last season, and this season making up things up on Shamea. But then again, that's what they do. Yeah, Chantel, that is what they do. I think Angela has gone a little too far with the whole sleeping with the Braves, sleeping with the Hawks, and now even George with the green beard, and he turns out to be a neighbor. American said that part. Cece, yeah, I agree. Linda greeted American Born. She was doing something with the dogs, Linda. Hello, Cece, my niece. Linda came in speaking to everyone. Linda was here earlier and is back. American Born said, did you notice Porsha said something about Destiny swapping with Shamea? Yes, we will get to that at the end. AB, Porsha's on the YouTube streets as well. That is a phrase now that is becoming really common. I heard of it years ago. It actually, honestly, I was in New Orleans, and for some reason, somebody wanted to, this man was like, oh, I gotta show you something. He wanted to like bump elbows with me or something. I didn't know him, so of course I didn't let him touch me. And I was reading up on that. They say people do actually try to destiny swap with someone, actually take over their path or what they would have had in life, or just step into their shoes. So y'all, that's crazy. Sandra, don't put the cloak on. American Born, I'm going to do everything I can to save Shamea. But she may be at a place now where she don't want to be saved. And I couldn't blame her. I think this is terrible. But Shamea, I'm going to say this to you. You kind of started it. You kind of started it. We'll get there, but we are still at, we're out on Grown People Field Day in Scotland. And y'all, I'm a little bit behind only because I did something to turn off the comments. So I'm going back to get all the comments. You know, I have the luxury of doing that as a smaller growing content creator. So please subscribe if you have not already. Click like if you have not already. And I appreciate you coming back. No cloak for Shamea until she can start mess, stand in it, and not run away, fake crying. Cece, I think she was really crying. She was really upset. Cece don't even believe her crying. But you can't throw the first rock and then hide your hand and somebody throw a bigger rock and hit you square right here. Now you're running. Now you're crying. This is my first time. Yes, I thought I didn't recognize your name, but I'm glad to see you, Chantel Hector. I hope it's not the last time. So welcome in and thank you for joining us. And with American Born's laughing at Cece. Shamea does do that. And her family coddles her too. You see her in scenes with the family. And as a matter of fact, I think right after this conversation, everybody's doing different things in the castle. Shamea's on the phone to Mama Morton. Mom, let me tell you what they did to me. Like, Shamea, stop doing that. You starting this stuff, so stop it. And everybody's speaking to Chantel Hector. Hi, Chantel Hector. Kiwan JTV is a content creator as well. Oh, you're in Texas. You have good company. Don't mess with Texas. We have Linda Gamble and a few others are in Texas. Not telling their business. They've already let me know, so I know kind of who is where. So thank you for joining us from Texas. Oh, how did you like the hosting that Cynthia did? And it was not the Dallas proper, it was the Dallas area. And Adrian Malouf came out there for Cynthia's tequila tasting. And Shamea got the dirty room. Production was showing us every complaint Shamea has ever had. So I want Shamea to be mindful of that, Shamea. You can't keep being a wet blanket. And Linda told on herself, she said, I'm here in Texas. Oh, thank you so much, Chantel. I appreciate that. Thank you. That just helps. Also, if you click like the notification bell, then you'll know when the channel goes live. Because I like to go, when I subscribe to someone, I want to make sure I can see them again, especially when they're live. Cece said, Gerald said he does not want to be on the show. It's on Shamea if she's alone. Yeah, that's true. But I think he would see her getting dragged. But you know what, Cece? I don't think Gerald watches the show. Gerald, do you know your wife's getting dragged? He doesn't want her hurt. I know people think their marriage is in trouble and any of this can happen, but I don't think he wants her hurt. Oh, thank you, American Born. Sandra's amazing and does the best reviews. I appreciate that, American Born. Thank you. I'm still able to like read through the comments and engage, and that also helps. Now, some of the channels, they probably have too many comments to do that, but I'm in a sweet spot. I can still acknowledge everybody and recognize people as they come in. It's alleged that it's just trouble in paradise between Shamea and Gerald. Yes, Linda Gamble, they've been alleging that for so long. When he filed the paperwork, that's when I want to know. Because, you know, they were saying that on Sonia Richards, Ross, and Aaron, too. And Sonia's like, can you stay out my marriage? It's not true. And it ended up being like an AI story or something like that. It wasn't true. They still going strong. Now, Sonia Richards, Ross, she had her show, Sonia's Glam and Glow. Glam and Gold. Yeah, she was out in Texas and then she moved to Atlanta. Then she was on this show. She didn't really fit. And she has a great story as far as with her husband. We get to look at fine Aaron Ross, her family. I love their relationship with her, but she wasn't like messy enough. And she just didn't. I think she tried to go against Drew, but you can't really go against Drew. Drew is like a quiet assassin. Drew gonna get you. She didn't really get anything over on Drew. I see we are outnumbered by the Texas ladies. Yeah, American Born, they said they in here. They said they rolled deep. Cece is saying, at this point, I'd minus out Shamea and Kelly and bring in one other OG or newbie. Angela can play in the sandbox with more of the ladies. People that are actually, they're ready to get in the sandbox with her. Now, Pinky goes toe-to-toe. Pinky jumps up to get knocked down. And a lot of people didn't see it for Pinky at first, but when Pinky and Angela were going back and forth, and it wasn't even Pinky's fight. It was K. Michelle that I think had some type issue as she did the whole time they were in Dallas, and she broke out crying. And then also Kelly and Shamea. But of course, they didn't even come to dinner. They weren't going to go up against Angela. Now that Watch What Happens Live, I didn't watch it yet. Linda Gamble brought it up earlier, and also American Born confirmed she saw it. They had our girl Eva the Diva on there, and Andy kind of floated a question: would you come back? So what did Eva the Diva say? Eva Diva, she can shade too, and she's not afraid either. She used to go back and forth with Nene. Nene's a big dog. Kelly just lost her lawsuit against one of her ex-employees. Linda Gamble, that she owing money. Kelly pay the people. Kelly gonna have to sell some of them teeth. She claiming she paid $70,000 for them teeth, but y'all, we know that it was actually promotion. We can take them. I don't know. They say don't mess with Texas. I'll referee y'all. Thank you so much for coming down into the chat. More various, more beautiful. Thank you. I appreciate that for joining. Click the like button. And I appreciate you dropping down. Kelly wasn't kind to Angela last year. What about that baby, though? Remember that? I do remember that. And actually, Kelly jumped on the bandwagon with Britt. Britt was trying to go back and forth with Angela, but Britt couldn't really shade either. Poor Britt. Britt was getting beaten down. And Angela was telling her miles on her mouth. Oh, y'all, you brought up a stretch mark on your mouth. Angela used to shade, and that was at Lake Bailey, y'all. That was at Cynthia's Juneteenth event. Oh my goodness, Kelly sure did pipe up. What about that baby now? That made me laugh though, because Kelly, that was none of your business. And then now she just got dragged. That's why Angela wanted to drag her. Thank you for bringing that up, because I just got on Angela like, Angela, why you want to drag Kelly? Kelly ain't do nothing to you. But yeah, Kelly be doing little stuff that you forget about. So Kelly, you deserve that. America Born said, I forgot about that. More various, more. I did too. Kelly, Angela had every right to shade you. Her little legs just kicked up in the air, just a flapping. That's what you get. Linda Gamble said, let's get the likes up. Thank you. Including those listening from working in the bushes. Yeah, I run my errands. I'll always have a channel on or something I like to listen to. 5 likes, 11 in the chat. Thank you so much, everybody. Go ahead and click the like button. Use it as a doorbell. And MVMB said, someone shared a clip of Shamea's mom from 2025 saying how she loves and is friends with Porsha's mom. Shamea can't win. MVMB, get Mama Morton off the social media. She's worse than Mama Joyce. At least, I mean, one band, one sound. Why are you over here talking about you love the lady? Well, this was back in 2025. And at the end, y'all, we know how ugly it got. Shamea started something. She had to jump up and run out. Linda says that Shamea started it, and Porsha says she's taking it to hell. Portia's one of them ones. Now, like Cynthia said that time, she kicked her between the legs. She said, everybody think you stupid and dumb. You ain't that dumb. I said, you're right, Cynthia. She's not that dumb. She's very calculated. Hello, everyone, and thank you. Hello, Chantel. Chantel, y'all, this is her first visit here. I love it. Thank you so much. I appreciate you coming in. You will love it here. Thank you, Key1 JTV. And if I did not mention it, Key1 JTV is one of my fellow content creators. So if you're not already over there and you're looking for people that like to discuss the topics, engage with the chat, reality TV, also scripted TV at Key1 J's. And I haven't taken it off the table. I just haven't put it on the table yet. But who knows? I could. CC says, I saw that clip. How would you be friends with a lady that tried to sleep with your husband? And Shamea and her mammy are fake and phony. CC, more people are seeing Mama Morton. Now, when she started all that praying and she started, oh, Mama said, Mama said, Mama, I said something about that lady. And now I'm seeing what it is. I don't know Mama Morton. Now, let me give her this. K. Michelle lied on that lady. She said she had the girls hyped up to here and she was in the club and praying for an hour and wouldn't let it go of her hand, wouldn't let it go, and saying, what kind of mama is that? And then Shamea did some type of podcast. Was it Carlos? She was talking to somebody. She showed the picture of her mom, what she had on that night, the same blazer that she cooked grits in that morning. Papa Morton sitting there looking at her, and the sister was there. The same blazer, it does not show excessive cleavage or anything like that. So, okay, Michelle, you lied on Shamea and you lied on Mama Morton. That was not true. Linda says, if you're a tequila drinker, please support Cynthia Bailey's tequila. It's smooth and I love it. Y'all, Linda Gamble, in addition to being from Texas, she's in the YouTube streets as well. And she gets out there, and Cynthia Cheekbones Bailey, the one and only, actually sent Linda some of that tequila. Yes, she did, everybody. And Linda says good. She said it's good. I'll try Cynthia's booze for mixed drinks. I'm a lightweight. Yeah, that would be me. I would make it, put in a margarita or something, CC. I don't drink tequila straight. Can't think of any liquor that I drink straight. It's always mixed with something, if I have any. AB says, oh, I was wondering how it was. Yeah, she said it's smooth, so that sounds kind of good. Chantel says, when Porsha is with the man, she wants more. She's still messy, but when Porsha is with the woman, she's very calm, I noticed. Chantel Hector, I just have to say, I think that's where Porsha wants to be. Because honestly, from episode 1, when we saw Big Mike from Ready to Love, I still think he's acting. I still think that whole relationship is fake. And I think she is more with Sway in a real way than she is with Big Mike. And that's going to come up because Dennis is a little bit jealous of Sway. Dennis don't pay Big Mike any mind. He know that's fake. He know that man is here for TV. And Linda says, CC, I mixed it up with my Hennessy Berry. Ooh, Linda, I hope you have nowhere else to go but bed. CC says, Eva looked like Skeletor last night. What's going on with her? And Brandy. CC, I don't know. I hate to comment on it because, you know, when they put up Brandy's picture, they also put up Chadwick Boseman picture. Our beautiful ancestor, rest in peace and power to him, because he was getting a lot of criticism on how thin he was. And when he was in the Five Bloods, we didn't know that the man was in late stages of cancer. Not to put that on a Brandy, on Eva, on anyone. Eva says when she's worried and stressed, she can't keep weight on. So I don't know. And they're very thin women anyway. And if they are stressed, they can't keep weight on. I just finished Brandy's book. Brandy has a lot of things that she keeps inside. And she said that she did grow up keeping things inside, just trying to be liked and trying to be perfect. That's a recipe for disaster. Kelly wasn't nice to nobody. Chantel, she started out nice to Britt. And then when she saw Britt couldn't give her nothing, Britt didn't have any money to give her, honey, she got out from under Britt. First, she started out defending Britt. Next thing you know, now here she is over here with Porsha. AB says it's those GLP-1s, all those celebs try to look thin on TV. AB, do they take those if they're already little? Brandy and Eva have never been anybody big dogs. They're small. That was hilarious when they dragged Kelly. American Born, her little feet, Porsha said her little size twos was just like this. And Kelly just laid there because I don't know if she tried to fight it or grab the rope or whatever. Maybe she could have been hurt. I don't know. I wonder if Simon's ex-wife and Kelly are cousins. I heard that as a rumor, but I don't know that that's true. Oh, so if Fallon, yeah, that maybe, because I know Kelly came on going at Porsha. I think Porsha was the one season 16 for Kelly to go at. Why you take that lady husband? And she came right in and she executed. And then Britt went at Kenya. And Kenya ended up shooting her own self in the foot. Linda says, Eva did hint about coming back. Phaedra said that Andy needs to get rid of 2 people. She was talking about Shamea and Kelly. Andy alluded to that as well. Linda, Phaedra can be very shady. I don't like one housewife naming who she should get rid of. I think that's wrong. When Ro had her live, someone asked her that question, and they asked for 2. She didn't name 2. She said Elena's hardly ever here anyway, so maybe it would be Elena, but she didn't name 2. I think that's kind of messy. I don't think that's a question I would answer. Cece says, we welcome you, Chantel Hector, and more various, more beautiful. All views are welcome. We're respectful here. We are. Yes, I said polite contrarians welcome. I had a banner for that. I haven't shown it in a little bit. But sometimes you get in an echo chamber and it's really not, it's like, okay, now we're talking about the same thing. I want somebody to mix it up a little bit, okay? Mix it up. Because Porsha and Phaedra, honestly, I was shocked freaking frack are back. I'm one of the people, when I watched season 9, I said, oh, this is terrible. Porsha, you get up out of here. That lie you told, you accused that lady of committing a crime. And we know Candy is a freak and Todd is a big head freak as well. But the lie they told on him, I didn't think we'd ever see them back. Here they are back and I'm enjoying it. So, you know, who knows? Mama say, Mama son, Mama kusa, America Born, you know that's the praise dance from Mama Morton. From Michael Jackson, honey. That's the only tongues I know, okay? I went to a church where they would speak tongues sometime. I won't say I never bored it, but as a kid, I would be looking at it like, And then the only like real praise thing I would do is Mama say, Mama son, Mama kusa puts me in the mind of that. No offense. I'm not trying to offend anyone. I respect all of it. America Born said, Dennis had his chance to be with Porsha. He just had to be faithful. AB, if he couldn't do that when she was pregnant, he's not going to do. He's just disrespectful. He was doing a lot of Lifetime movies. Linda Gamble, they said they pay well over there. And Eva does a good job. I'm proud of her. I love her and all the Queen's men. AB, this is the last season. I dropped them. They got a little graphic, and then the writing wasn't as great when Christian Keys had the show stolen from him, in my opinion, from Tyler Perry. I think Tyler Perry had to pay that man. They said Tyler saw that pretty man, went to his house. He said, I'll give you anything you want. Just let me look at you. And Christian says, if you come through my door, I'll put hands on you. Because Christian is one of them ones. He's very self-assured. He don't even play like that. And I think that Tyler had to pay. My guess, he said it was a billionaire. My guess is that it was TP. I really think that. And I like Tyler Perry, but I wish he would live his truth. Cece says, Auntie and Linda Gamble, I'm a lightweight. I could never drink tequila and Hennessy together unless it's drowned in juice. I'd be under the table asleep. When she gave us that mix, Cece, I kind of looked. I said, I hope she didn't have nowhere else to go but bed. Keywan J says, Eva's my girl, all the Queen's men. Yeah, Madam, that must have been written for her because that's a cold-hearted lady. But Madam never does anything unless it's necessary. And I like her old crazy dad, too. I didn't know that man was playing possum over there in the nursing home, and he's still a big dog. Cece says, I just added Coke or Sprite to it. You said you put Hennessy Berry in it. Which drink was that? You said you had Hennessy Berry and tequila. AB says, yes. Keywan J, I'm still getting to your review. And Keywan says, cool in the gang. Yes, AB, we appreciate your support. That means a lot when you rewatch things and you like, you comment. The comments help with the engagement, y'all. So I do spend time going through the comments, and I answer every comment when you watch something as Team Replay. And also hype the video. We really appreciate that. I guess I should watch this episode. LOL. I haven't watched since episode 5. Yes, the trip is good. The trip started 13. So at least watch 13 and 14. You'll love it. You know, I love when they go somewhere. Chantel is Team Candy. I'm Team Candy. I don't think NBC Universal was Chantel. I think they did Candy kind of dirty. I mean, I'm never one of them people that say, oh, Candy, she boring. She don't give enough. She this, she that. Candy gave a lot. Excuse me. Candy gave a lot. When we first met Candy, her first season, remember she was dating AJ. That man, he was killed outside of a club. Candy met Todd on the show. She had 2 babies on the show, Ace and Blaze. Mama Joyce has been an integral part of her storyline. Candy gave a lot, but people they didn't want her. And then Bravo, I don't like how they handled it. They held out so long. She had all these other things going on. She finally had to say, I have stuff that I could say yes to, but I need to know, like shooting schedule and stuff. And then she was like, I'm not coming back. And then when she's confirmed that she's not coming back, here come freaking Frack. Their contract probably was already in the mail. And I'm going to blame Phaedra. I think Phaedra probably was the one that came up with that because she's an attorney. Cece said that Sandra P's Gen Extra. I never understand why Phaedra was paused after season 9, but not Porsha. And I'm a Porsha fan. She was the one who actually brought the Candy allegations to the screen, not Phaedra. Cece, I feel like they wanted Phaedra to come clean. And I'm going to call them out, y'all. This is all alleged in my opinion. I think Carlos King, being the producer at that time, and he left. He said he wasn't fired, but he left after that season, never to return, even though he stays on Bravo tip, interviewing all their Bravo celebrities, flying all up in their face, promoting them more than the show. I think that Phaedra has kept his confidence for whatever reason. Mum's the word. Maybe he paid her $1 as an attorney. Maybe she was his attorney. Oh, that's a conspiracy theory. But y'all, I wouldn't put that past old Carlos. They just never muttered that man's name. And I think she got that lie from him. Porsha did bring it to the screen. Her and Candy were having an argument at an outside cafe. And I remember her blurting that out. I know what you wanted to do to me, that you were going to rug me. And Candy was like, what? Candy was incredulous. She couldn't believe it. I couldn't either. That was the nastiest thing I've ever seen on TV. And I feel like they both should have been fired. Chantel saying what I think. Porsha is just jealous of Shamea. Porsha's jealous of Shamea. Chantel, a lot of Chantel people think that vice versa. They think that Shamea is jealous of Porsha and wants her life. And then for Porsha to get up here at the end talking about and trying to destiny swap. Girl, destiny swap with what? I think that Shamea wants to be loved the way that Porsha is loved, but I don't think she wants her life. I don't see it. Linda says, Dennis said he had a live-in girlfriend. He sure did, but that doesn't keep him from trying to find out everything that Porsha is doing. So, sister, great to see you in the chat. Thank you for dropping by to say hello. Good morning, Sandra, chat, and mods. Thank you so, sister. I appreciate you. Good to see you. We're just talking about this episode, kind of throwing in all kind of trivia and the past things that have happened with RHOA, because I love being able to discuss that with people. I mean, this episode is fine, but we got to read about what came before this. Christian Keys is singing now. Yeah, Linda Gamble, he's amazingly talented. I heard his song on the radio. I mean, it was one of those serious stations that they play like deep cuts. But when I looked up and it said it was Christian Keys, I said, oh, Christian got a song out? Keith Robinson is another one that sings. He played the brother Cece in Dreamgirls, and he's now on Beyond the Gates. He replaced Ted. AB says, I agree that the infighting threw the whole show off, but Christian is trying to find another network to keep the show going. AB, I think it will be better if they do that, because I think, honestly, after I'm going to just put my spin on it, this is all alleged. I think that after Tyler probably had to write that check and non-disclosures were signed and all kind of things, Christian's never mentioned it again. I saw him. He went live on YouTube and he told that story. And Christian is no punk. Christian was very shaken. As he was telling the story, he was angry. He was shaken. I think he's taking it down. And I think some money exchanged hands. I really do. Kiwan says, why is my girl Drew working with Raggedy Ray J? She need to fire Dennis. She said Dennis is setting up the tour. So yeah, she's going to tell them at the table she's working with Ray J. American Born is laughing at Kiwan J. Yeah, Ray J has left music in his rear view, and he started out pretty talented, but he's more of a businessman. And then his personal life is so messy. I don't know why he does many of the things he does. Thank God Porsha didn't have any Hennessy. Thank God. Chantel, we would have met P. Willie or Peach Juice. I think both of them are there, but Porsha was able to keep it cute. And Shamea was leaving town. Keep it cute, keep it cute. Shamea, you didn't keep it cute, girl. We all questions that at CC. I think both should have gotten paused. Yeah, I think so too. I don't know how Porsha kept her job. Now, she sat there and was like, that year she had that little pixie wig. I don't know. Oh my God, doesn't you think this look crazy? Girl, you knew y'all were lying. I think y'all made it up together. Candy has a lot going on. She's still touring, Chantel Hector. I saw her Mother's Day in Atlantic City. She was touring with Escape. Sandra, Andy didn't fire Porsha because it was Carlos told Phaedra to start spreading the rumor. I think Phaedra didn't take any accountability for that action, and they let. So, sister, I don't know if you were here. That was my guess exactly. Carlos, I believe he got fired. He's still lying and saying, I didn't get fired, I left. You love and worship Bravo. Carlos wouldn't have left. They would have had to drag him out of here with his fingernails scraping the ground. That man did not leave. They fired him, in my opinion, for starting that rumor and having Phaedra spread it. And I think Phaedra kept his name closed for her own purposes. I think Phaedra doesn't burn bridges because freaking frack are back. And honestly, if you told a lie like that on a job, I'm shocked that either of them are back, but they're back and the fans wanted them back. And the victim of the lie, Candy, is not back. They chose freaking frack over Candy. They really did, because they held the contract so long. It was ridiculous. American Born said, I agree, Sandra. I blame CK for that whole debacle. I do too. And I think he's lying. He repeatedly says it. He gets angry when people bring it up. I didn't tell nobody nothing. I didn't do that. Yes, you did, Carlos. You're lying. You're lying. Carlos needs to be adjusting his shows the way his girls are bringing nothing. Kiwan JTV, yes. I don't even watch the new Bell Collective, Birmingham with Stormy. And that should be, I think I'm hearing that one might be better than the original Bell Collective. I only know Bell Collective from the first couple of seasons, but I dropped them years ago. I like Selena. I like Dr. Marie Monroe, but I just don't watch them. Linda Gamble says, I blame CK. So we all, as unanimous, we blame Carlos King. Carlos, we don't believe you. So sister says, Bravo just wanted Carlos gone, and that was the perfect opportunity. So sister got him out of there expeditiously. And then the same time when she attacked Kenya, Porsha put hands, feet, and a scepter on Kenya, and Kenya was the one beaten down. And Carlos picked Porsha up when she was like, I've embarrassed myself. Picked her up and carried her out of there like a princess. And nobody checked on Kenya. she was sent back there just like complaining, like, you're fired. She's fired. I told everybody. I told them she was crazy. And they didn't really care about Kenya being attacked. Kiwan J said, I think Porsha and Shamea friendship ran its course, but Shamea didn't get the memo. Yeah, Kiwan J, I think she is broken over it and she's really upset. Mama Bees greets soul sister. Yes, it's great to see her in the chat, Mama Bees. American Board says, you can tell more of the Bravo girlies watch reviews because they use the word content creators use now. American Born, I can't stand it. Porsha, ain't nobody trying to destiny swap with your tail. I know where you got that from, and it's a little silly. See, I mean, and it happens. I believe in destiny swapping. I think that people do actually try that. But in this scenario, Shamea has everything that Porsha wants. The thing that Porsha has that Shamea wants is to be loved no matter what you do. Like we just said, all the reasons why Porsha should have been paused or fired along with Phaedra season 9. And by all rights, neither one of them should be back. I don't want to take a sister's paycheck, but really you can't do that on your job and come back. And these two did successfully. And quiet as it's kept, not even quiet. They never missed an NBC Universal check in the meantime. Porsha was on some reality shows I can't even remember the name of, NBC Universal projects, and they were both on Traders. So they are fan favorites over here. Cece says, I don't think Portia's jealous of Shamea at all. Porsha can't really hide her feelings. She knows the real inside Shamea's life. I don't think Porsha wants that. I don't think so either. Shamea is under such stress trying to bring this boy Shiloh into the world. People think Gerald don't want Shamea and all this kind of stuff, but if he did it, y'all know how easy it would be for that man to trade her out for a younger Shamea. He could easily do that, and then she could carry his son. He's making concessions. He's allowing them. They're going to do where the surrogacy, that old surrogate they had. I don't want them to use her no more. The one that's in business with Dr. Jackie, she was carrying Shiloh. Had just carried Blaze, got cancer, had to have Shiloh birthed immediately, and poor Shiloh over there fighting for her life. Terrible, terrible. I can't get started on that because it makes me upset thinking about it. Mama B says 10 likes, 11 in the chat. Please hit the like button. Thank you all. Thank you. Linda says, I have one question for Dennis. Why did you help Ralph with his custody case with your lawyer? Linda, I would like to hear Dennis answer that question. I think Dennis doesn't have any solidarity to women. I think he just looks at them as a means to an end. I really do. If Porsha would have him back, I think he'd go back. So sister said, I think Bravo saw how remorseful she was for bringing out the lie, and Phaedra was mute and showed no remorse. Yeah, so sister, that could be what it was, because Phaedra just was sitting there like, well, and she didn't. I don't know that she ever apologized. And Candy, she made up with Porsha, but she's yet to make up with Phaedra. I don't think she ever will. Nerkin Boy says, please ask him at Linda Gamble. We all want to know. Yeah, please let us know. Chantel says, Sandra, did you watch Polygamy? Yes, I did. That's why I know how easy it would be for Gerald to trade out Shamea if he wanted to do that. I don't think he wants to. Carla P, good to see you in the chat. Thank you so much. Thank you for dropping down to say hello and speak. Do you think Nene Leakes will be back on RHOA next season? We'll see how Ultimate Girls Trip goes. I think she's dipping that toe in the water, and I think Andy and NBC Universal want to see how the fans react. I want her back. Nene can come back whenever she wants to. Or could pull a Cynthia and do like a friend of, where the requirements aren't so great, but they can still have her there and just get a feel for her and how she is with the other women. AB's agreeing with Linda Gamble. Linda speaking to Mama B's. Mama B's been in and out of here. Chantel, Carlos King needs to worry about his own show, but it's super messy on Bravo shows. Make it make sense. Chantel, I agree. We begged that man. Hello, can you showcase Bell Collective in them? Love and Marriage? There's more he can focus on. He still wishes he could be on Bravo. I'm glad he is. Me too, AB. I don't think they'll ever have him back. I think he was terrible. And I love the girls. I love the girls. He'd be over there just meddling on Marriage and Medicine. I want him to shut up. But he's made it his whole brand. Now he's over here with the YouTube channel and he podcasts. He's got something called Let's Have a Conversation. And he brings people on and he's still yakking. I don't think Stormisha's show is coming back. Then the Gamble, they thought that show was going to do something. Birmingham, Bell Collective, Birmingham. Good, I'm petty, American born. Oh, Stormy. Okay, let me see where I am, everybody. We have gotten through all of the comments. Pinky gets a scene, y'all. Pinky is crying over her bills. Well, one second. I actually ended the scene where we were talking about Kelly. They were like, "Are you okay, Kelly?" And then we got a stink eye from Shamea because Porsha is sitting there saying, "When women decide to pour into each other, it's real different." And I think that Porsha is acting. Again, I do think that she likes when she's not in conflict with the women, but I'm not buying this new Saint Porsha act. And Shamea is angry that all the other ladies are buying it. So, Shamea, you got to step your game up. You've been a wet blanket. We get Pinky, the big boss, Pinky, who can wipe her A with $87,000. Pinky crying over her bills. It's a freaking bad day. I'm here, but I'm there. Why am I paying these people? Oh, Pinky, I don't mean to mock you, but Pinky, you said you could wipe your A with $87,000. You call Angela a broke bee. You said all kind of stuff. And now here you are crying because 20,000 came out of your account. And then y'all, she still owed the people money. They had to sue her to get paid. And it's not like they were owed a ton of money. A lot of it was wait staff. And you know what a server's, what their minimum wage is? $2.13. So Pinky, get up off the money. I'm here, but I'm there. I got real drama in my life. So she's actually shading the people that she don't feel have real drama like Shamea. Now, I'll say this about Shamea. Shamea and Gerald, they may be printing money over there. Gerald has a very lucrative HVAC business that is around the country. Okay, number one HVAC, even in Rhode Island. They cracked Rosie's face with that. She said, talk to the HVAC specialist, her husband. And Rosie said, you mean in Atlanta? And he said, no, Rhode Island. Shamea said, yeah, Rhode Island. So yeah, y'all, it's nationwide, maybe even worldwide. So Gerald's got money over there. And Pinky's saying that she got real problems. So Shamea is catching strays left and right. And I feel for it because other than Shamea and Porsha and what they got going on, I'm missing what Shamea is supposed to have done to everybody else. So I'm kind of missing that. I don't know. Y'all know I try to keep Shamea under my wing. I know she could be a little messy. I know she could be a little silly. She might call somebody Sasquatch or Bigfoot, but I don't get the hate. I'm missing it. I'm missing something. And I'll go back to the review. Let me get these comments, everybody. Let's see. CK might not be on network for long. Linda Gamble, he's been over there for years, and I would like for him to get going because I think he keeps a lot of the mess going off screen. I'll never forgive him for Love and Marriage Huntsville and the way he treated Melody Cherie after she gave him this show, brought the show, trusted him with it. He actually literally wiped her tears and has been a menace ever since. AB says, Pinky as well. She almost lost her husband. Pinky, I can't read some of that. That's why she's having another baby. Yeah, she was saying that she, and I have real problem. We get a confessional with Angela. Angela has to weigh in on everything. We know production likes Angela, but sometimes you can just not say what you want to say. She said, Pinky is crying over money. Pinky is acting like the money defines her. Now, Pinky does kind of act like that, but she says, I want Pinky to know that there's more to her than what she has in the bank. We contrast that with Angela in the scene with Pinky. It's like, oh, she's kind of consoling and stroking Pinky. So that was kind of, that was a little bit awkward to watch, Angela. You're comforting this woman in real time, but then after, I guess they go back and watch whatever the scene was or production refreshes their memory. She's kind of throwing shade at Pinky. And y'all made up after Dallas. After you dragged Pinky and she jumped up to get knocked down, y'all made up. So why are you, I don't know why Angela was saying this about Pinky. I like Angela, but when she does this, it makes me look at her cross-eyed. So they all come downstairs and get dressed. Everybody looks good. They're at the same long traders table and they're kind of like planning what they're going to do. Or Porsha and Phaedra have already planned it. They're filling in the ladies. And Phaedra says, we're going to be going place to place, party hopping. And Cynthia said, oh, we've done that before. And production shows us when they go party hopping in Atlanta, they may change clothes. They may have something else going on. We're in Scotland where they have, of course, the plaid. Kelly is dressed like McDowell's of Coming to America. So everybody is laughing about that. They found it really funny. I don't know how Drew got on this conversation, but we found out she has had a hysterectomy. And she's saying something about her pelvic floor. Phaedra explains it and they get a little graphic. Evidently, your pelvic floor can actually fall to the point They claim it can be lifted up if the person has sex. So Shamea doesn't even know what a pelvic floor is. What's a pelvic floor? And Phaedra knows a little bit about everything, and she is filling Shamea in. So we get Porsha, who of course thinks she knows everything lady part related because she has one and likes them evidently. That's what she's saying. That's what Sway said. I didn't say it. That's what they said. So Porsha is said, if Angela is the hottest, I'm definitely the tightest. And she starts to get talking Porsha talk. You know how Porsha does. So in the scene, Shamea is saying, well, does that have anything to do with Kegels? Kegels is, of course, that exercise, whatever, you help kind of tighten yourself and hold it. So Porsha leads them through a series of Kegels. And Shamea thinks that this is going to bring her to completion. Shamea, you a trip. This is why people get mad at Shamea, because she doesn't know when to stop. I find her funny when she does that, but she can also be a little cringy. So Shamea is going a little bit too far, but the ladies are still kind of having a good day and they're laughing about it. Okay, I'll go back to the comments. Linda Gamble says, I'm tired of Pinky crying and talking about money. Linda Gamble, if she doesn't bring up bankruptcy at least 3 times an episode, I think she might owe Derek $10. I just made that up, but it's like something she has to do. And I'm a little tired of it myself. Linda says, AB, I want to know about the second wife in the basement. She's trying to sell them ebooks, so maybe that'll generate some income coming in. CDW, thank you so much for dropping in and saying hello during the live. I appreciate that. Hello, everyone. I noticed that CK doesn't mention Heart and Hustle Houston. He bet not. He ain't got nothing to do with it. OWN gave that show to a real production company. Their name escapes me, but I actually like what they're doing so far, unless they get too messy on my girls. American Born is speaking to CDW. Kiwan says, CDW, Heart and Hustle is not a CK production. Yeah, that's what she said. Kiwan, she said that he don't mention it. They didn't give it to him. It's not his. I think it's called, is it Jesse something? Jesse Entertainment. But yeah, CDW, it's a real production company. They try to be positive, but they're trying to get a little messy. So everybody is reminding CDW that that's not a Carlos K production. And I'm glad about it. I hope OWN doesn't give him anything else. Y'all, they're supposed to be bringing Put a Ring on It back. I think it's Put a Ring on It. So I'll have to see when that comes on. I think I'm going to cover that because this one looks a little bit messy. Soul Sister says, CDW, I think he does not mention Heart and Hustle because his former producer is executive producing that show. Jealousy and competition is why, in my opinion. So, sister, I didn't know that. That's a little bit tea. I love it. But you know what? Wouldn't you be glad if somebody was on your team and then the next thing you know, they have their own show that they're executive producing? I'd be like, yep, I used to work with them and they were on my team and now they're executive producing the show. But Carlos is so small-minded that he doesn't see that as something to be proud of. Key1 JTV, didn't Angela cry about the $2 million she lost to Am I Wrong? You're not wrong. That she cried about that whole portfolio of Spider Houses. And then it's my money. Charles didn't give the money. And then if she would focus on Fangela's like Pinky told her last week, she could have had them on the market. Chantel Hector says, Sandra, you should collaborate with some of the other YouTubers. Chantel Hector, that is something that I had done in the past, and I don't really have the greatest the greatest view of it for now, but I never say never for the future. It's certainly very hard to get a group together that meshes and matches, and everyone is encouraging toward each other and willing to have different views. Because like I said, polite contrarians welcome. That's not always the case. So I won't have anybody like mad over my opinion or any of that. We ain't doing that. If I think it, I think it. And you can't argue me out of my opinion. Let me find that little Tamra Judge baby when she yells, it's my opinion. Sandra, you're doing great. Thank you so much. I appreciate it, Chantel. It's great that you're in here. I appreciate the encouragement. And everyone speaking to dear Yvette. Well, that's Linda. Dear Yvette's been here. Deborah Randall, welcome in. Thank you for coming in during the live to say hello. It is great to see you. Everybody, welcome Deborah Randall in. Good to see you. Thank you so much. Everybody speaking to each other. CDW, it dropped in. Deborah Randall. I know it doesn't belong to car. Yeah, see, I could tell you knew CDW. Some of the people didn't know that you knew that, but yeah, he doesn't mention it. But he mentioned Bravo all the time, doesn't he? Now, you would think that he wouldn't want other Black executive produced shows to get shine. and put their people on and talk about them. Does he do that? No. Who's he talking about? Bravo. Bravo doesn't need any help with promotion. Carlos King. But here he is. That's all he do is talk. I hope they do is trash. They trash his shows. Yeah, American Born. Carlos really, he's able to get something greenlit. He's able to bring it to screen. Carlos actually has a lot of talents, but I think he does have a spirit of jealousy. I do. Because if you look at, like, he'll collaborate. He have Dustin over there. He has Claudia over there. He have, now Blue comes on there quite a bit now. I watch Blue off and on. I like Blue. But I don't know. It seems like you wouldn't see him put, Jesse Collins Entertainment. Now, wouldn't that be a great interview? Carlos, we would like to know how somebody grew from being on your team to executive producing their own successful show that we're second season. We are in the second season. And during the live, Rose said you may or may not have heard it from her, but it sounds like they were greenlit for a third season. Carlos, talk about that. I want to hear that. Let's have a conversation. So if he does the conversation, let's suggest that Jesse Collins Entertainment is brought over there. CDW said yes. I don't think we'll see it. Linda says, put a ring on it, has a segment airing on July 2026. Cheaters Hub. Linda, that's why I said I think it's going to be messy. Everybody, you know how they go out on dates? They're going to have part of the couple going out on dates with someone that they've already cheated with. I don't know why they would do that. I wouldn't come on the show with my relationship if I knew that was a premise. No. Kiwan, we definitely going to have Miss Sandra on a panel. I trust you, Kiwan JTV. I trust you. This is one in the chat, and most of the people you see in my chat, I trust Kiwan J to do that. I couldn't see her, being shady or any of that. I could not. Mama Bees, hey, Deborah Randall. Everybody speaking to Deborah Randall. Welcome in. Welcome in. I'm going to watch it. Yeah, I'm going to watch that too. More than likely, I'll review it. It sounds pretty good. Yes, Sandra, let's see that interview. Yes, Carlos King, call Jesse Collins, because that's an amazing accomplishment. Because y'all, Carlos King, quiet as is kept. It's not even quiet. We all know Carlos worked with Bravo. Carlos did, the seasons that Carlos was executive producing, great seasons. We still have quotables. We still have scenes that we can remember off the rip. The babies that TJ Lovelady does, all of that is stuff that Carlos has done. It's like wife swap. Then again, but at least wife swap, they're already married. For this person to risk having someone who is cheated on and is in like a fragile part of their relationship, why are you going on a date with the person they cheated on? Why put temptation in front of them like that? I don't like it, but I'm still going to watch it, everybody. So we go back to the house. We're almost at the last scene, everybody, the big scene. So, of course, she's over here talking about she the tightest. I don't know, Porsha. You must have went to see Dr. Jackie, because all that talking they do about up underneath Porsha's skirt, I don't know how that could be true. But if she says it, I believe it. They're going to a kilt factory, which Porsha calls a cult factory, but there's no cult over there. It's a kilt. Certain families would have a plaid pattern that is actually is designed for their family. So Pinky reduces it. Kind of like how you represent your set. Pinky, I'm not going to call Pinky ghetto or anything like that, but I'm going to say Pinky keeps her ear to the streets. So that is kind of what it means. That's what the gentleman said. But him being Scottish, he didn't say it like that. So Porsha kind of says almost the same thing in her confessional. So I found this scene really nice. So that we find out that the ladies are wearing, and if there's a kilt, they wear something, a band or something under their kilt. So Shamea gets another confessional where she is a little bit risque, talking about, the commando under there. Cece, we questioned that, and I knew I had heard that the men, y'all, if you see a man in a kilt, more than likely, there's nothing underneath that, okay? So Shamea's all for it. She's saying, free the ball and bat. That's what she's saying. So Pinky is saying, excuse me, she would like them to get a sash for the ladies to wear underneath a kilt, because Shamea just be ass out. Yeah, she do. Y'all, we saw Shamea when she called a very important meeting in Dallas and had a thong bikini on. I know Gerald's not complaining, but the rest of us don't need to see that all the time, Shamea. So we find out that it is Phaedra's birthday. I did see on IG, people were telling Phaedra happy birthday during that time when they were filming. And Porsha said, so I guess I'll just take care of this. And Kelly said, what else can I get? Is there a budget? And Porsha is laughing. She's like, for you, yeah. Because Kelly, what you going to get out of that kilt store? I guess a bunch of stuff to go with those Hanes 3-pack of white t-shirts. So somebody was calling Porsha Sugar Mama. They were just laughing. They head to the restaurant. This is the last stop. Y'all, I think I missed the scene where, Shamea call Mama Morton crying, Mom, think what you did to me. Mama Morton going to be crying for real after this when they get to the restaurant. Let me finish the comments and then we'll go back to this last scene. It's like wife's. Okay, so that was put a ring on it, everybody. The Jesse Collins person used to work for CK. Key1 JTV, I think CDW, you're the one that came in here and said that. She said he used to be on his team. They worked those teams really hard too. I saw Melody Cherie had a Melody Cherie from Love and Marriage Huntsville pitched the whole show with her ex-husband Martell, gave it to Carlos King. He tweaked it and put marriage on it, and he claimed that it's his creation. Carlos King, you're lying. But Melody had a YouTube special where she had the young lady that she was a very instrumental producer on the show, Angela. And she was the one that Miss Van, which is Melody's mother, and also Melody would go to when they would be going through. Those ladies were threatened and everything on that show. One of those bald-head Scott brothers, the crazy one, he lives in the woods or something. He was showing up outside Miss Van's place, y'all. Miss Van had to get a pow-pow. She told Angela about it, and it went up the ladder. Carlos and them didn't do anything about it, but of course, Melody eventually had to leave that show. So Chantel is speaking to Deborah Randall. Everybody welcome in Deborah Randall. Talking under the man's kills. Yes, American Boy. And Shamea was saying, free the ball and bat. Shamea, sometimes as a married woman, some of the stuff Shamea talks about, I understand why it's a little cringe, but still, it does make me laugh. So Sister says, I think the lady was a producer on Love and Marriage Huntsville named Angela is producing for Heart and Hustle, allegedly. So Sister, I hope that's true because I really trust Angela and her judgment. When I've seen the way Carlos and his messy self moves, and even Andy, I think that you can have an interesting show. You can have mess. You can have unpredictability. You don't have to break up families. You don't have to break up friendships. And I don't like producers that work like that. You don't have to do it. Linda says, yes, Shamea called her mom crying. Yeah, she did. She called her mom crying, and Mama Morton's listening to it. But I want Shamea to stand 10 toes down in her fabulousness. I think Shamea is amazing. I think that she thrived as a sidekick because she is a person that likes to support other people and give to other people. Even her moving Kelly into the townhome, or as Kelly said, me, my daughters, the dog, 2 turtles, or she's moved a partridge in a pear tree into that townhome. And quiet as it's kept, I don't think Kelly and them paying anything. Now, Kelly had a whole scene that she's looking for this elevator townhome. I don't believe you, Kelly. I think you're still over there at Shamea's. But Shamea is a giver, and she wants everybody to get along. And I feel like have a good time, and they can. But Porsha, now Shamea, when Shamea was trying to make friends with the new girls and doing that alliance thing, I think Porsha feels betrayed by her. Because Shamea, I feel like you did talk about Porsha behind her back. We saw you do it with Angela and Britt and Kelly. And I think to Porsha, even though Porsha allows people to talk about her friends in front of her, we've seen her do it. To Porsha, that's unforgivable. Everybody speaking to Deborah Randall and welcoming her in. Cece saying 10 likes, 13 in the live. Thank you so much, Cece. I appreciate that. And the instructions are to please like, comment, subscribe to ensure as Sandra P's Gen Extra moves up in the YouTube algorithm. I appreciate that. Also, if you're team replay, meaning you are watching after the live, then you have the hype feature. But the live has to be ended by the time you get that. Kelly can't afford to move. AB, I think that too. And Shamea told her, stay there as long as you can. Now, I'm a little concerned with Kelly because Shamea might be a little bit possessive of her friends. Shamea, are you? And if she is Kelly going to be able to keep up the fact that now she's made up with Porsha and she's friends with Porsha? Because I think that triggers this whole thing between Shamea and Porsha at the end. Shamea should have stayed a friend of the show. Linda Gamble, I don't know why she didn't. I think this has been, I hope not her downfall, but it could be. It's looking like it. AB agrees. She says 100%. And Chantel says, Porsha be lying when she's back up in the corner, meaning looking embarrassed. Yeah, and Porsha, we have seen her when she gets caught in a lie or somebody gets one over on her, she'll throw one back. So when Shamea dropped that, I think a truth bomb, because y'all know what I think about Madam Diane. I have things about Madam Diane that I like, but I know that lady is a trip. Over here with Hosea, feed the hungry, that man had a whole family. Because Porsha is the result of an affair, or she's a side baby. So she got it honest. I don't knock Porsha for how she conducts herself. She got it from her mama. She got it from Madam Diane. Kelly is after Shamea's husband. And then again, but I don't think that Gerald would want Kelly. Kelly's in her 40s. Kelly has 4 children. Is it 4? Chloe's at college, and then 3. Some of the bones are brittle. And y'all know I don't speak about children in a certain way, but Gerald, if he replaces Shamea, it's going to be with a younger Shamea. It's not going to be somebody else in their 40s. And now you got brittle bones over here to boot. Gerald ain't doing it. I'm sorry. He's not. He wants a Shiloh. He got the 2 Shilohs over there. He want one more, but a male one, like a Shiloh Sanders. And if Gerald get that, Shamea ain't going nowhere. And I could be wrong. That's my opinion. AB, you saw Kelly left with Shamea. She knows her place. AB, because she lived with her. And then let's see how sincere Porsha was about, Kelly, you can call me anytime you need anything. Let's see if Porsha, how she takes the fact that Kelly had to make a choice. But I'm glad she said, well, no, I'm not going to let you leave by yourself, because Shamea was very upset. You know, Shamea, you started it. And she was leaving. I don't think it takes everybody to pile on this one lady. Again, what she do to y'all? You hate the lady? What does she do? Keywan says, I think Shamea loves hard, and I think Kelly is loyal to Shamea. I think so too. But Keywan J, Kelly is loyal if you're helping take care of her. Because I think they did have the scene where she said, oh, Kelly actually, I introduced her to her boyfriend because I met him at a Hawks game, and it feels so good having somebody, and he helped get her teeth done. Now we think that's marketing, but Kelly's claiming that Shamea introduced her to a rich man. Nay, may not be true. We don't know. And Cece says, I thought Diane was married to Porsha's dad first. They divorced and he married Lauren's mom. Is that the order? I thought that. So is Porsha older? Don't let me lie on Porsha, y'all. I don't dislike Porsha. I don't dislike anybody enough to lie on. I ain't gonna lie on them. Lack of knowledge. So who is older, Porsha or Lauren? Because Lauren acts older, doesn't she? She's always taking care of Porsha. Cece, I think Lauren is younger, because remember when Lauren got pregnant first, Porsha kind of had a problem with it. And I don't care what nobody say. I saw that. Porsha was jealous. Porsha had envy in her eyes over her sister having a child first. And then that's when she was giving people baby contracts and everything. That football player, Todd, that she took to Hawaii, he couldn't abide by the contract. So she ended up getting no hot dogs in his. And let's see, Porsha is the oldest, I thought. Okay, AB confirms. Yeah, I think Lauren is younger. She doesn't act younger. That's why I thought that. So they're heading to the restaurant. Angela's like, ooh, they turned up for us. And Drew's excited. She's like, ooh, Scotland is a vibe. So Angela and Drew at least are having a great time. When they show up, there's a girl in there. I love their accent. The girl was asking, what do you want to drink? What kind of stuff do you like? Somebody was asking Porsha, you looking for another girl? I don't know where that came from. Was the girl flirting? I don't know. She's just asking them what they want to drink. So that is the part, y'all. I alluded to it earlier, or somebody mentioned it, and I went on a tangent on it. But we find out that she's working with Ray J. Dennis is going to do the tour. And then they're talking about Porsha. Dennis is threatened by Sway, but he's not threatened by Big Mike. And Angela, for some reason, weighs in. Do you think that's because Big Mike is a man, Sway's a woman? Porsha says she don't know. We get a confessional with Porsha. I agree with Porsha. I don't think Dennis should weigh in at all on who I'm dating or have a say-so. So I thought that was crazy. So they all start just cross-talking back and forth. They ask Kay Michelle, what do you think about that? The fact that Drew is working on music and a tour with Ray J. And Kay can't help but hate. Whenever Drew does anything music-related, Kay gets threatened. Kay, why? We've known you for music forever. Drew is no threat to her as far as it comes. And Puddin', didn't you say you're going to start singing country music? So why are you jealous of Drew and Ray J of all people? But she says it could work in her confessional. It could work as far as delusional with delusional. So that's what she said. Ray J don't tweet her. That she has her opinion and she has a right to. So we go back to the table. They find out that Drew's being messy. Kiwan J. Did you see Drew's? Oh, you didn't see her yet, but you're gonna be messy at the table. Yeah, Dennis is putting together the tour for me. And every time she say Dennis, she look at Porsha and do Dennis. She do his name like Dennis is putting together a tour for me. So Dennis is gonna be working on this tour. We're gonna work on it with Ray J, and she's trying to like bait Porsha. And Portia's like, okay, well, that's good. And then she was saying she don't feel like Dennis should have anything to do with what they got going on. So Shamea cannot read the room. I think the conversation was okay. Angela was hyped to be there. Drew was having a good time. Everybody was drinking their shots, eating their little hors d'oeuvres. Shamea says, well, because Dennis's name kept coming up like Dennis. Shamea said, well, Dennis has told Gerald that PJ cannot come over. And that was very hurtful for you to not let PJ to come over. And Porsha, she's very calm. She says, if you don't like me, my child ain't coming over. Now, Porsha, I agree with you. Shamea gets a confession on. She said, it's hurtful. I would never do anything to hurt PJ. And then in real time at the scene, she's saying, you used to say that we were like sisters. We're close as sisters. And now you don't think that I could be trusted around your child, around PJ? Portia's reiterating, if you don't like me, you would not be around my child. Now, this is where I'm going to tell Shamea. And we told Shamea at the time, roll back to season 17, this season, episode 1 or 2. Porsha threw a party. Porsha invited the entire cast. Shamea didn't want to go. Shamea showed up with Pinky. We were just meeting Pinky. Shamea and Pinky showed up late, drunk, spilling liquor all in the girls' foyer, everything. Terrible. And I said, Shamea, that ain't right. Later, Gerald had his birthday party. Gerald's still friends with Dennis. Gerald pretty much gets along with everybody. I never hear anything bad about Gerald. I think they forgot to pay some taxes or something one year. Somebody tried to blog about that, but make no mistake about it. I don't think these people have issues paying any property tax. That's the only thing I've ever heard about Gerald. And then I don't like the fact I feel he's pressuring her into having one more Shiloh, but just in male form. So other than that, I don't hear anything about Gerald. Dennis told Gerald that PJ, Porsha Jr., cannot come over to Shamea's house. Shamea is hurt by that. But Shamea, you started that precedent. Shamea easily, Gerald's party would have been perfect. Invite the whole cast. And if Porsha doesn't show, she doesn't show. But I think she would have went. And I don't think that the two of them will ever be close again, especially after this episode. But Shamea, I feel like if she had put that olive branch out and invited Porsha along with the whole cast to Gerald's birthday party, it could have started thawing things. But Shamea wanted to stand 10 toes down and try to exclude Porsha because that was not Gerald's idea. And then you lied. She turned around and said, well, I didn't want Gerald to find out, so I wasn't telling people. And then we find out that Porsha knew through Dennis that he found out a week in advance. So again, Shamea's bringing this on herself. Now she's rightfully hurt that Porsha thinks that PJ doesn't belong around her. But if you don't like her mama, you don't like her. So the two of them are getting into it a little bit about that. And then Shamea's saying, well, they start talking about last year. I don't know what they were talking about, but you were speaking about my mother. Shamea brings up Madam Diane. You said something about my mother, and Porsha, it pulled Porsha back like, whoop. Portia's like, and then she said, oh, that I said something about your mother. Shamea, you said that my mom had did something to your mom that she bought the business out from under your mom. When your mom had did something to my mom, the two of them are like 13 and 14 years old arguing, y'all. I could see their whole friendship in this minute. It's very uncomfortable. Your mom did something to my mom before my mom did something to your mom. And I think in Shamea and Mama Morton's mind, the fact that what Mama Morton did was business related is not as bad as what Madam Diane was alleged to have done. So Portia's looking like, go ahead and say it. And Phaedra's face was all stretched out like, Phaedra didn't want it to come out. Shamea said, your mom tried to sleep with my dad. And Porsha had a fit. A seated fit. Y'all, this is not P. Willie or peach juice. She didn't try to snatch Shamea's curls out or nothing. She just sat there and she said, "Oh, my mom had tried to sleep with your mom. Had tried to sleep with." She says, my mom had tried to sleep with your dad." Shamea said, "Yeah." She says, "Well, my mom told me that your mom had tried to sleep with your dad's brother." Shamea goes crazy. She gets up. They start arguing back and forth, and Kelly's trying. And I like Kelly. Kelly had been sitting next to Porsha. When did Kelly change seats? Kelly, this was really good. And I know Kelly sometimes doesn't stay supportive of the friend that she came with. Like, Kelly, the way you dropped Britt because she only brought 1 tampon and 2 rolls of toilet paper to Grenada to donate, I thought that was terrible. But I commend Kelly for standing by Shamea. Because Shamea, you started something, girl. You cannot finish this. She threw a bomb at Porsha, and Porsha stayed seated and threw a grenade back at Shamea. So Shamea is going crazy. Kelly's trying to calm her. And then Shamea gets up and leaves the room. And the rest of the ladies were like, oh, they were shocked. And they were saying like, "Oh my God." And then Shamea, you were saying a lot of things you shouldn't have been saying, girl. These cameras are still running. She said she's narcissistic and I would hold on to stuff trying to protect her. She's saying, "You want to talk? Let's talk." This is Shamea. She said, "Because I got stuff on you too, bitch." Now, come to think about it, excuse me, y'all. Y'all know I don't really go there, but I have to quote her as she was. I think in there when Porsha first started talking, she says, "Your mom did something to my mom." And Shamea says that your mom had done something too, bitch. So that was the first thing that Shamea had did. Shamea, you started this whole thing. And I hate that she did. Because y'all, she can't win. I ain't even going to put the cloak on no more because it's kind of warm in here. And I'll start to sweat. Let me go back through the comments. See what everybody thinks of this scene. Y'all, I feel so badly about this scene. Shamea, why did you open this Pandora's box? Shamea, if you exit this show, I think we could say it started here. Because Shamea, if you thought that Porsha paid you dust before, y'all are done. It's over. It's over and done. Wrap it up. It's done. Yes, Mama Diane married Porsha's dad first. Oh, okay. So Linda Gamble confirms that Madam Diane was married to Porsha's dad first. And I heard Hosea Feed the Hungry had another family, y'all. Now, I don't know civil rights like that, but Hosea Feed the Hungry had another family. Madam Diane is the first wife. So Porsha is his oldest child. I heard Madam Diane got him off one of them civil rights wives. I heard she got him off of Coretta. I don't know, y'all. Y'all gonna send me back into the archives. I'm gonna look that up. Dr. Ralph Abernathy. I'm gonna have to read his book. Porsha's 45 and Lauren's 39. Okay, so Lauren is younger. Oh, so Lauren is young. So Madam Diane's had Hosea Feed the Hungry first. So Hosea Feed the Hungry did not have another wife before this. Let's leave out Lauren's mom. Is Porsha Hosea Feed the Hungry oldest child? That's the assignment. We're going to look that up, everybody. Chantel says, Porsha just a jealous somebody. She is. And I think Shamea has jealousy as well, but it's envy. What she envies about Porsha is Porsha's ability to get people to love her. Team Shamea, they calling out teams. Haley Denard dropped in and said, Team Shamea. I'm protective of Shamea because I feel like she's being piled on, and there's something in me that doesn't allow that. I don't like it. American Born's talking about conversation we've had. We were talking about Big Mike versus Sway, and I think there is no versus. I think that Porsha has selected Sway. I think Sway's good for Porsha. Y'all saw Porsha, Madam Diane, 14 family members deep, y'all, on a PJ, a private jet. Yes, PJ on the PJ. So Big Mike, you can't compare. I think Sway. Yeah, I think so too. I agree with you, American Born. And I think that's the real couple. Keywan J, I saw the clips. It's explosive, Keywan J. Everybody's talking about it. American Born says, I agree with Porsha. Why would she let Pilar go to her house and they could say something about her mama? Yeah, AB, that was very naive of Shamea to think that. I'm sorry, if you don't like the mom anymore or y'all are on the outs, she can't let PJ go over there. But the Shilohs love Pilar, and PJ is friend. They're all friends. So when they get into it, it's real messy. Kind of like on Potomac when old Rob Dixon thought that she was going to have Wendy's boys, Cash and Carter, and little Wendy go over there for family field day. And she can't stand Dr. Wendy. And had to nerve to tell Candace, Candace, you can bring them. Dr. Wendy's like, my kids ain't going nowhere without me because I need the money for the scene. No, Dr. Wendy didn't say that, but she probably was thinking that too. Chantel Hector says, I agree with Porsha, but that hurt Shamea. Yeah, it did hurt Shamea. And I think Porsha, she now has no more love left for Shamea. And I think the last scene where we see Shamea kind of being escorted out by Kelly and comforted by Kelly, again, I commend Kelly on that. They get into the Sprinter. So was the Sprinter waiting, or did they have to call? How long did this scene go on? Because they got live. They called somebody, but they got into the car. Shamea is literally crying now, and Kelly's trying to calm her down. I'm going to leave with you. Of course, I'll come with you. And Shamea was calling Porsha a narcissist. And you want to talk? Let's talk, because I got stuff on you too, B. And she's kind of threatening her. She said, I know I talk a lot. I know I say a lot of stuff, but I never said one bad thing about Porsha. She's crying sincerely. Cece said fake tears. Cece, I think Shamea was really undone. I think she was really crying. I think she is mourning this lost friendship, because Shamea, it is lost. Porsha don't trust you no more, girl. And Porsha seemed like one of those friends. She can do things to you, but if you reciprocate, she holds it against you. That she seems that type friend. So Porsha's telling the group about, she trying to destiny swap. Porsha's saying all this kind of stuff to the group, and the group is just shocked. So Kelly and Shamea are in the van, and Porsha is still saying, I seen it in her. I seen it in other friends that wanted what I had, wanted destiny swap with me. I seen it in my ex-husband. Y'all, she comparing Shamea to Simon. Porsha, you weren't saying all that when Shamea, I'm going to put this on you. I think Shamea introduced Porsha to Simon. She didn't just meet him at Fallon's house. Them two ninjas knew each other. When Porsha walked in there in that big booty bathing suit, and Simon, Fallon's supposed to be introducing her, they already knew each other. I'm sorry. And I think they were messing around then. So Porsha, don't be calling this girl the same devil. I see the emptiness in their eyes. And until she get that spirit up out of her, I'm not fooling with her. Now, Porsha, I don't know that Shamea has any more of a spirit in her that you have in you, because we've seen Porsha do all kinds of terrible things to various people on the cast. She put hands, feet, and a scepter on Kenya. She tried to jump. She was straddling Cynthia to the point where Cynthia had to kick her between her legs. Cynthia Bailey is one of the most mild-mannered housewives we've seen. She can be slick at the mouth. And as Nene said, she could be 50 Cent. You think you get one over on her, but Cynthia's still there. She's kind of like a Drew, like kind of more laid back with it, but they're going to get you up off them. And I feel like Shamea is more that than Porsha is. We've seen P. Willie picking up boom mics on people. She tried to fight Dennis's mama down in Mexico, trying to get the man arrested down in Mexico. So I don't like the fact that they were kind of piling on Shamea behind her back after she left. And then K. Michelle said, she might need to be, maybe she went a little bit too far, but I still don't want anybody in the group to feel like everybody is on them. So I agree with K. Michelle on that. But K. Michelle, you just called the girl a monster. And what that little rat hat that K. Michelle got on, that kind of got on my nerves. I'm getting tired of them. I'm tired of the ones that stayed at the table. Okay. Kelly, I appreciate you leaving. And Shamea, you shouldn't have left. You should have sat there and ate your food after you threw that bomb at Porsha and she threw that grenade back at you. Porsha, I don't think that she would have sat there so calmly if after she said that to you, well, my mom said that your mom tried to sleep with your dad's brother. I think that if you had just said, girl, pick up your shot and take it, start eating your food. This is crazy. So Cynthia was telling K. Michelle, do you think it's a possibility she brought anything on herself? So Cynthia, this is not neutral. So how are you going to have Lake Bailey be United Nations for RHOA if you're taking sides? And I think that Cynthia is taking Porsha's side. Cynthia, I have flashbacks of the way you did Nene when the rest of the Talls turned against Nene and you ended up over there with Claudia and Kenya and them. I don't like that, y'all. So this scene was explosive. It ended up with Kelly and Shamea running up out of there because of Shamea. Shamea, you should have stood 10 toes down. I wouldn't have left. Even if I said something like that, I wouldn't have left. And what I would have put on Madam Diane, Porsha wouldn't have been able to get off of her. I would have had her over there with Martin Luther King Jr. Excuse me, everybody, but I would have went scorched earth at that point. I don't like that. Y'all need to get up off Shamea because she's an easy target. She could be cringy. She could be extra. She could be too much. But I need to know more about what she's actually done to hurt anybody. And I've seen this shift. Like they were loving her season 16, the way she came in. And now it is terrible. So I forgot who was talking. Angela? Somebody was talking. I feel like she has been absolutely devastated by this friendship. And y'all, that is true. I think she's taken the loss of it much further. And Angela's sitting there taking a shot. Drew's taking her shots. The rest of the people are listening to Porsha. And Pinky, y'all, Pinky did a good job. Pinky said, well, even after with all of this, do you think there's any chance of the friendship together getting back together? And Porsha, she's still looking like Porsha, but y'all, the voice, I recognized it. It was P. Willie. She said, a chance for the friendship. Did you hear what she just said about my MFing mama? That's what Peach Juice said. So we get a confessional with Porsha. Porsha says, Shamea and her mama are like the trash that you put out on Wednesday and hope that you pick it up on Thursday. So Porsha, that we won't let you have that. If they trash that you put out on Wednesday and then you pick up on Thursday, what are you and Madam Diane? Because I've heard people say similar things about you. And are you really that mad that this woman bought a building up from under your mama that she let lose in foreclosure and somebody's little baby died over there? Allegedly, and in my opinion, but it was in the court docs. They had a crib death case over there and somebody ended up suing Madam Diane. Okay? And she ended up losing that business. And now Mama Morton, I don't know if this was right or not. I don't know if you prayed about this or not. I don't know, but you bought the place off the courthouse steps. This is your friend. That's my friend. I love my friend. She my friend. But you couldn't let her know, hey, friend, you're going to lose your business. I can't front you the money, but I want to buy that business. I'm familiar with that business, and I have other daycares. You develop a relationship with the families. You don't want them to have to leave. The one little baby done lost their life. Don't close down. I'm going to keep it up and running, but you and your daughter don't have anything to do with it anymore. And y'all, I heard that was part of the whatever that case was. Them two can't be in the daycare business no more. So now they're selling Go Naked. Allegedly, and in my opinion. So let me see what else. Kelly's crying. Shamea's crying. I think Kelly might have been crying because she don't want to have to move, y'all. This is too much. So next week, that was the end of the episode. I'm going to go ahead and give them a 9. I'm going to give them a 9. I can't remember why I didn't give them a 10, but I wrote down 9, so I'm going to leave it there. So let me know what everybody else thinks about it. We will finish up all of the comments. And again, Porsha talking about destiny swapping. I said, girl, get off of the comments. Get off of YouTube because you don't abandon your channel. Remember Porsha used to come over here and eat Popeyes? She don't be over there now. So I know they watch some of the largest to the smallest creators and they get up in there. And it's okay if you want to know what's being said about you, but do not tailor your performance to that because that can come back and bite you because you don't know what somebody's motive is for saying what they say. For me, I watch what I watch. From my life experience and who and how I am, I determine what I think about it. And then I share it with y'all. And I read what you say. And then we go back and forth. I respect all opinions as long as they're expressed respectfully. And we're all good. But the people being in here trying to manipulate that's not going to happen, Porsha. This lady is not trying to destiny swap with you. And you know enough about her life where you wouldn't want to be in her shoes either. So I don't know why the two of you couldn't be co-workers. Why did it have to come to this? So I think the whole thing, I don't know. It was a little sad at the end when I watched it. It really was. So we get another confessional from Cynthia. She says, Shamea came to the dinner with one in the chamber. And maybe that wasn't one to unload. 50 Cent, I have to agree with you. But again, we found out from this episode, Madam Diane been a problem. Did she try to sleep with you, Papa Morton? Because I noticed a lot of time he's in scenes that it doesn't make sense. If this woman's sitting down there, they having girl talk and babies and all this kind of stuff, to me, that's girls talk. Maybe I'm old school. I'm Gen X. I'm not old, but I'm old school. Why are you there, Papa Morton? You're not putting in anything to the conversation. You're just sitting there being watched by Mama Morton. So does she got to watch you, or does she got you on screen like, yeah, Madam Diane, I got him. He my man. I don't think that Madam Diane wanted him. I think if Madam Diane wanted him, she would have had him. So how do we know that Madam Diane tried to sleep with him? Maybe he was trying to sleep with her. I don't know. So I remember thinking it was strange in the scene because he didn't fit in the scene. And I knew that there was a man behind the separation of this friendship. I don't know if I jokingly said it was Madam Diane and Pops Morton or not. And which brother is this? That's another thing Shamea said. Talking about she trying to sleep with my dad's brother. Which one? Shamea, who cares which one? Say no. Say that's a lie from the pits of hell. Why do you want to know which uncle? Is one of your uncles that nasty? And Mama Morton, I know. Did you do that? Y'all, that's the end of the episode. I'm going to give it a 10. Y'all, I got to give it a 10 because all these questions I have after the episode, and it's not over. They're still in Scotland, everybody, next week. So this is crazy. This is really crazy. Let me go back and see what else. So Porsha, Shamea, you went low first. And as Linda said, Porsha took it to hell. Porsha took it to Lindsey Graham and them. Porsha took it to Lindsey Graham. They said Mitch ain't over there, but Lindsey sure enough is. Lindsey sure enough is. Let me go back and make sure I don't miss any comments. Okay, we'll start from where Chantel was at, so we'll remember what we were talking about. I agree with Porsha. That hurt Shamea. Shamea, first she messed up directly addressing Porsha. She shouldn't have brought that up. And then Shamea, that was your fault. PJ can't come over there. If she had invited Porsha to her house as part of a cast group invitation to Gerald's party at the same time you invited everyone else, this wouldn't have happened. Cece said, like sisters doesn't mean actual sisters. There's a difference. Yeah, Shamea was saying that. Why can't she come over here? You said that I was like your sister. You were like my sister, boo. Lauren is my actual sister. Lauren can talk crazy to me and we're still good. So Shamea is, like I said, when she argues, she's 13 or 14 years old. Porsha the same, but they reverted to two teenagers arguing together. And I just wanted them, y'all, it's hard to make friends in your 40s. And I think y'all have put a nail in that friendship. And I hate it. It's a little sad, y'all. I hate it. Cece says, Dennis sure did attach himself to all of Porsha's friends, ex-friends, and our HOA connected associates. He's a little snake. He's a sneaky snake, Cece. And I agree with Porsha every time she says, Dennis should not have anything to do with who I'm dating. I agree with her on that. Chantel says, Shamea has a beautiful life and Porsha and Miss Diane hate it. I think that's what it is too, Chantel. I think they feel like Portia's the gregarious one. Portia's the charismatic one. Portia's the beautiful one. Why doesn't Porsha have, and Shamea's life is not carefree. That's what people get it twisted. She got this $9 million home and all this stuff, but she has problems as well. She has different things that she worries about. We see the stress all over her. 100% AB is saying to CC. Chantel saying Porsha and Shamea was shaking the table. They sure enough was. K. Michelle didn't know where she was. They had K. Michelle talking sense. Y'all know I think K. Michelle came on here talking crazy. They shook it up so bad. They had this lady on here talking sense. Well, wait a minute now. I don't want anybody to feel piled upon. I said, piled upon? Pudding, is that you? Thank you, Chantel. AB is laughing. They sure enough did. Oh, my goodness. K. Michelle, you can stay. She has been fired as well. Linda, you still firing K. Michelle, Pinky, and them. Cece says Shamea went from the kids to having a peach to the mamas. Thank you. I forgot that part, Cece. All over the piece, all over the place. She ran and cried in the car. Please leave Real Housewives of Atlanta. Cece, if she leaves, I want it to be on her own accord. I don't want her to be run up out of there. Y'all left that part out. She mentioned that Porsha did not want her to have a place on the show. And a lot of people do think that she said, you've already said that when I was the friend of, everything was okay. But she said, you have the Hawks, you have the Falcons, you sing, you've got everything. And this is my thing. And if you come over here, you're trying to kind of take my thing. And the way Porsha was looking at her, dead eye, Why are you lying? Why are you lying? Porsha, you are lying. I know, I can tell when Portia's lying. I've watched this lady long enough. I can tell when Porsha Williams is lying. Porsha, you're lying. You didn't want this girl on the show in that capacity. You would have had her back as friend of, but you didn't want her to get that peach, especially the peach that she had. They laid it out on a silver platter like she's coming in to be HBIC, and Porsha had a problem with that, and they started conspiring then. But Shamea, you messed up when you came in conspiring, and she was saying to Kelly, and I tried to protect her. She never tried to protect me. Protection is over. You want to talk? I can talk. Shamea, Porsha didn't ask for your protection. You put that upon yourself. And you see where it got you? Porsha is Team Porsha. End of. She ain't trying to help nobody else. Chantel says, I wish Shamea would have said this at the reunion, but it's okay. I don't know what kind of reunion she has, Chantel, because she hasn't mentioned a word about it. I'm a little concerned about her reunion performance. Porsha had no Hennessy. They would have cleared the whole table. Did you see how scared the Scottish waiters were looking already? Bullseye, she needs to go. American Born's ready for Shamea to go too. Yeah, if it's going to damage her mental, her family, her marriage, get out of there, Shamea. You don't need it. You don't need that. See, I have a feeling Shamea and Kelly won't be back next season. Linda Gamble, that's the rumor. I hope it's not true. I think Kelly might have saved her peach, y'all. Just like Porsha saved her peach. Remember, Porsha first season, she was fired. Nene spoke up for her. Candy spoke up for her. And she had a reunion performance, and Carlos coached her. Reunion performance that everybody, we never stopped talking about. Cordell is not perfect by far. Porsha saved her job. So for now, her to try to get somebody fired, that's snake-like to me. You want to call Madam everybody snakes? Madam Diane and Porsha are snakes too. I believe every word on both ends. Kiwan J, thank you for saying that. Two things can be true. They know each other's dirt. And Shamea's even running out talking about, yeah, I could tell stuff on you too. I know you can. You know where the bodies are buried because you were there with a shovel, you and Porsha. And y'all got ties that are deeper than friendship ties. I never kissed a girl. You kiss Candy in the club, I kiss Candy in the club. Y'all kissing each other all sets of lips. And you can't convince me different. I don't care what none of them say. They're both lying. And they're both telling the truth. Thank you, Kiwan J. AB said, me too, Kiwan J. Two things can be true, and it is. Dear Yvette says, I think both of the mamas did what they said they did. Dear Yvette said, Madam Diane tried to get with Papa Morton, and Mama Morton went over there with one of the brother-in-laws. So I think that's true. And again, that could be why Mama Morton said, that's my friend. Diane's my friend. I'm sure that is your friend. You don't want her to tell your stuff, and you don't want to tell her stuff, because y'all, sometimes when everybody knows where the bodies is buried, that keeps everybody quiet. Oh, wow, y'all, this is interesting. Hosea was Portia's grandfather. American Born. Oh, okay, thank you. So Hosea Feed the Hungry was the grandfather. I knew the ages didn't make sense because he was up there with MLK, Dr. Ralph Abernathy, that group. And y'all, they were out there slinging and swinging and getting married like Christmas. And it's in the FBI files. Now we know the FBI has been crooked for years, but the fact that the civil rights leaders got down, that's true. That is all true. And you know what? I don't begrudge them that at all. You're trying to kill these men. Absolutely, they can have sex every day. Linda Gamble says, don't bring Shamea back. I understand that viewpoint. I want to know, Linda Gamble, if she wants to come back. I know she desperately wanted this show, but sometimes something you desperately want, it's not the best when you get it. She's been crying for 2 seasons. She's had a horrible time. I don't think it's for her. Kiwan says, take the cloak off Shamea because them heifers have you quoting their B-bombs. Kiwan J, they got me over here frazzled. They do. I had to take the cloak off because I was sweating, but I might leave it off of her anyway. AB is cracking up the Kiwan. Clutch my pearl. I know. Cussing each other out at the table and got me repeating after them. Shamea, girl, I don't know if I can save you. Kiwan J, yes, keep the cloak off, Shamea. Linda Gamble, she wants to take the cloak off too. Thank you, everybody. 12 likes and 13 in the chat. Thank you. It's almost matching. Sandra, really and truly, RHOA alone makes me sick. What alone, really and truly? I think we skipped a word, Chantel. And Cece says, I think Shamea was pissed about the girls' kumbaya the ladies had the night before without her embracing Kelly. Now Kelly is back following behind Shamea. Cece, when that whole scene started and they were like, how are you doing, Kelly? They wanted to make sure that Shamea knew that, yeah, Kelly was in here with us. And Kiwan J, if I'm not mistaken, when you watch it, you can confirm. I think Drew brought it up. How you doing, Kelly? Drew's a trip. I don't know why people sleep on Drew. Drew know exactly what to do, when to do it. And you know who they didn't pick on at all the whole time they've been in Scotland? Drew. And you know who they should have been dragging up and down this table? Shamea, instead of Shamea? Angela. Angela, we caught you in the biggest lie. Even people that don't like Shamea don't believe she slept with Greenbeard. His wife is all over there talking about you and Charles. Grass is tall. They saying everything. But you know what they're not saying? George slept with Shamea. I think he did say like, oh, yeah, you know, she fine. I had to pay her and all of that. But I don't think he slept with her. And she's sitting there drinking her shots and eating her snacks. And Shamea's getting kicked all up under the table. You did start it though, Shamea. But I still don't want to see her get dragged like this, y'all. I felt bad watching it. American Born says, I agree. She wasn't included. No, Kelly's a trip. And then Kelly ended up, she left with Shamea, but she's living in Shamea's townhome. So she kind of have to take her side. Now, Kelly, are you and Shamea going to be able to maintain a friendship? Now, Kelly did put out a statement of support for Shamea. I did see that. If I can find it quickly, I'll pull it up. So Kelly, after watching the episode, did put out a statement of support. Y'all will be in the YouTube streets. I know poor Shamea going to get dragged. Shamea went from the kids to having a peach to the mamas all over the place. Then she ran and cried in the car. Please leave her HOA. Yeah, that's true, Cece. Why do people act like Shamea is so much better than Porsha? They're besties for a long time. To me, birds of a feather flock together. I think Shamea hid her chicken head ways better. Now, Cece, I have to agree with you on that, even though that's poking my girl Shamea a little bit. I have to agree with you on that. I think birds of a feather. And I think, like I said, they do know where each other's bodies are buried because each one of them had a shovel. It ain't just Porsha. Porsha has a hard time hiding her stuff. We can't find on camera Shamea running down the alley trying to beat somebody down. We can't find her on camera putting a hand, a foot, and a scepter on somebody or trying to get someone arrested in Mexico. We do see that of Peach Juice. But that's not to say Shamea don't have that in her. We saw her when the cameras were still following her and Kelly. She want to do that. I know where the bodies are buried. Oh, okay, Shamea. She want to talk. Let's talk. Shamea, I think you done enough talking. Don't throw nothing else at this girl because Porsha has proven she going to say whatever she want to say. Cece said, except when Shamea said she slept with Gerald the first date. I thought she said she had the runs and went in there, and then the next time she went over there, he had some wipes for her to take care of herself. American Born says, don't start if you're not going to finish it. American Born. I think she didn't know it would go that low that quick. But Shamea, like Cece pointed out, y'all have been friends for decades. You know how low this girl will go. You've seen her do it. Because it wasn't directed at you, I think you didn't think it ever would be directed. And now it was. Camille Graham say, and now we said it. Yeah, and now we said it. Cece says, I didn't get Shamea's response to Porsha saying Mama Morton slept with Shamea's uncle. My response would have been, that's a lie. Shamea said, which uncle? What in the world? Cece, I said, why do you want to know that? I said, what difference does it make? Is one of your uncles that low? Is one of her brother-in-laws that low? I couldn't believe when she said that. That girl said, which uncle? She's trying to find out who. Shamea. I said, that's a lie from the pits of hell. I said, when Madam Diane was over there, with MLK and MLK Jr., I just would have started spewing. Shamea, though, she don't have that in her. That's how I know she's not that low. And I'm not low, but I can go low. I've been around people that will go low. She would have been, Peach Juice wouldn't have sat there. She would have fought me. Shamea, they would have been talking about Peach Juice putting a scepter on somebody else. And American Born is laughing at Cece. Linda says, Cece, I saw the picture of Shamea dad. Not a good look. Papa Morton be sitting there in them scenes like a hostage. She said, you ain't getting out of this kitchen and you going to go over here and call Madam Diane. Sit here and watch me make these grits. I'm telling you, something was like, he doesn't belong in this scene. Why is he over here? And that's your daughter. You can be over at her house, and that's I think, no, Shamea visited them. You can be sitting in the kitchen while your wife cooks. It just didn't seem organic. It seemed kind of scripted to me. Dear Yvette says, it's Porsha did not want Shamea on the show. Shamea has the African and she has the housewives. Dear Yvette, I think that too. And I think that if she does want her on there, it was as a supporting role. But she started acting funny as soon as she came with the peach. And then she tried to get production to help her. Like when she had that party and Gerald gave Shamea that Bentley that she was twerking all over. Porsha showed up almost at the end and kind of like walked through the presentation and then got into the confessional like, what? I didn't know. I underestimated traffic. Blah, blah, blah. Girl, stop. American Born is laughing. Sandra, you retelling what happened is excellent. Thank you so much, American Born. I like to do the voices and everything and just be silly so we can have fun. But there is a part of me that's a little sad about the demise of their friendship. But I understand it. They haven't been nice to each other. Production even showed us Angela kind of meddling, going back and forth. She feels like this is a toxic friendship. Angela, I feel like you should keep your mouth off of it because it didn't have to go here. Even if Porsha didn't like it, and I get it. You feel like this is your show. Shamea has everything else. Why is she over here? She could have told Shamea that in private. Shamea probably would have still taken the job, but y'all could have been co-workers. Why you outing each other's mamas? And now it's saying that it's probably true on both ends. So Mama Morton, you done been with one of your brother-in-laws. And Madam Diane, you try to get with Papa Morton? I don't know. I think Papa Morton might try to get with Madam Diane. And it's going down on Instagram. We got Chantel Hector, the lunch bunch. Y'all take your lunch, okay? We're going to have to pull up Instagram. Thank you. We're going to go over there. American Born says, let me go look after this. So American Born, I know she's already in the IG streets because she be sending me stuff. I gave this episode a 9 as well. Okay. Yeah, so it's, y'all, and Cece gives it an 8.5. Give him something to strive for, Cece. Cece gave him a B. We all gave him an A. I think I switched it to an A+. I said a 10. Andre Shannon, thank you so much for joining us. Andre Shannon is our resident RHOA historian, and he also lives there and have met a few of the housewives personally. Porsha Williams did her job. She pays Shamea dust. But I asked Shamea walk with a newbie, Kelly Farrell. She had to walk with a newbie, Andre, because that was the only one that wanted to make sure she got out of there okay. Just picture the scene. They are away at a restaurant. The Sprinter vans are outside. They're in Scotland. Shamea is in tears. She's leaving. If she's going to go back to where they're staying, which if she's going to run away, she should have run away. Run away, have them take you to the airport or wherever. But she's going back to where they're staying. And Kelly left with her to make sure she's safe. But yeah, Andre said that Kelly is down on the totem pole because she's a newbie. This is her second season. Linda says, all hell just broke loose on Instagram and TikTok. We got to get over there. Sandra P. Jeanette should check your DM. Thank you, Linda Gamble. We all over here in these YouTube streets, the IG streets, everywhere. It's going down. Y'all, this is exciting for a Monday. America Born is laughing at Linda Gamble. Both of them on another device, texting. Cece says 8.5 because Shamea was allowed to flee from the table after lighting a match. Stand in your mess and take it. Cece, that is where I will deduct the point from Shamea, but not the show. I don't like people running out of scenes. I don't like it. Linda gave it a 10. I get it. Nope. She getting 8 now, Sandra. She ain't got no time for you too. Dear Yvette. Oh, Lord. Poor Shamea. Yeah, Sway is over there and then taking her off on a private jet. Put PJ on a PJ. She said, no, I don't need to come over there and eat Popeyes on YouTube. American Born too. The mamas and daughters going at it on the internet. Linda Gamble, what was on Shamea's mind to think? And I don't want to hear, I remember Madam Diane saying, watch the dog that brings the bone. That was season 16. Madam Diane is grown. She can say what she want to say. Her and Porsha are having a conversation. I didn't love it when she said it, but she didn't say anything bad. Your mother will give you that type of advice about certain friends. Okay, fine. Shamea, why now in Scotland would you bring up a rumor about Madam Diane trying to get with your daddy? Papa Morton, this daddy, Papa Morton. I don't believe it. Cece says, have y'all seen Papa Morton? I don't think Diane wanted that. Yeah, Cece, Diane's fly. I don't see it either. I'm sorry. I don't see it either. Now, Hosea feed the hungry son probably ain't no prize either, but at least there's legacy and pedigree there. Because in civil rights, they almost kind of like actors in the civil rights world in Atlanta. I guess you try to get you a Luther King or a Hosea feed the hungry. AB says, thank you, Linda Gamble. I'm going to look after this slide. I'm going to look now. And if y'all still on your lunch, stay here. And so sister says, Sandra, you killing me calling Diana madam. It's too funny. It's an inside joke. So sister, I called Madam Diana. I called her madam because I called her that one time and almost got my head snatched off. Y'all talking about the mamas? I said, yeah, I'm talking about the mamas. They on the show. Linda Gamble, it's still going on now. The mamas and the daughters is going on Instagram and TikTok. I'm going to check my GM. Give me a minute. Papa Morton is not good looking at all. Evidently, they don't go based on looks, Linda Gamble. Can he put a black card on him? I remember Miss Evelyn was dating that man. It was a preacher. He said, bam, slammed a black card on the table. Tamar and him said, oh, he got a black card? That man said, yeah. And the daddy was there. He was kind of jealous. He done cheated on this woman, divorced Miss Evelyn 30 years ago, and concerned with her going on a date. I used to hate when Tamar and him daddy came over there. AB, I'm going to grab me a soda and go to Instagram. Linda Gamble, I'm going to pull it up. AB says she is too. Linda Gamble, you don't got to go nowhere else today. Pour some of tequila, Cynthia's tequila in there. And Chantel says, Sandra, I'm saying Shamea's life is perfect. I'm just saying Porsha and her mommy is jealous. I get, oh, you're not saying that her life is perfect? Yeah, I think they're jealous of Shamea. I think they both feel like Porsha should be the one with what Shamea has. Now, Andre Shannon, he drags Shamea. He does drag Shamea. But Shamea has she has a hard time with what's going on. Just the baby alone. Poor little Shiloh, what they go through. And she goes through a lot of surgeries. Do y'all know? Remember, I think a couple of weeks ago, they said Shireen, the lady that has that business with Dr. Jackie, this allegedly, for me, that's suspicious in and of itself. I don't like Dr. Jackie's bedside manner. And Shireen actually to be running a business where she's getting surrogates and to accept the job, she implanted one of the last male embryos in herself and it wasn't successful. Shamea, don't you use that lady no more. And talking about where Gerald, I ain't seen him in a while. Why ain't come in? Gerald not going over there. You lucky Shamea still comes in because I would have got another agency. Andre said it was a job well done. Porsha Williams kick you, ex-friend Shamea to the curb with the newbie. Kelly Farrell. Andre, I don't know. We'll see what happened. Cece says, at Sandra P, I saw a picture of Angela and Charles at Stacy's Real House was a Potomac wedding. Oh, I can't wait. So they filmed that then, Cece. Cece's laughing with Linda and spoke to Andre Shannon. Yes, Andre Shannon came in and Linda said Shamea and Porsha at Cynthia's bridal shower. Shamea and Cynthia had was that to Peter? Andre Shannon said, Porsha Williams warned Shamea being full-time housewife is not, you go back to NBA Atlanta Hawks and NFL Falcons. Shamea did not win playing dirty. The only thing I think Shamea did dirty, I'm going to give you this, Andre. I think she did dirty, Andre speaking back. I think that she did dirty when she came on trying to assemble alliances. Shamea, you should have let everything be organic. When you have a group of friends, people are going to, you kind of gravitate to who you gravitate with. You get closer with this one. This one's a co-worker. And sometimes that all changes. I don't know why Shamea felt like, I want to get the young, fun girls together. And then they excluded Angela. That lit a fire at Angela. Angela still don't see it for Shamea. She trying to eat that girl up every chance she get. And I think that Angela did lie on Shamea, but she felt like she had something against Shamea. And even Charles was like, there's something going on with you and Shamea at the event they had for the mamas, the field day. And Angela tried to deny it, but she does. Andre said Porsha gave Shamea a history lesson. 5 women built real houses of Atlanta, and it's not Mrs. Morton. She was a supporting actor, Andre Shannon. She was on Lake Lanier when Porsha got kicked between the legs by Cynthia Bailey. Rightfully so, because don't straddle me and I'm just having a conversation with you and I'm seated. I don't like that. I hate when people get aggressive like that. Cece says, replay gang, hit the like button, drop a comment, and let's hype this video up. Keywan JTV says it was Drew. Yeah, the Keywan, that's your girl. But do you see when Drew she inserts herself when she needs to? Kelly, how are you doing? And then when they were talking about Drew's music, and she starts talking about Ray J, Dennis is putting together a tour. I had a business meeting with Dennis, and that was already putting Porsha on edge. Linda says, too late. Shamea is getting dragged on Instagram and TikTok now. Yeah, I knew it was coming. Andre spoke back to Linda Gamble. He says, hello. AB is laughing with Linda Gamble. Keywan says, I think she was crying because she realized the friendship is over. And Keywan JTV, we told her that last season. She didn't want to hear it. And then she's telling Kelly, and I did all this stuff to protect her. Shamea, we were telling you, Porsha ain't been your friend in a long time. And then Porsha, I think Porsha was projecting all the stuff she said about Shamea, because Shamea's calling her a narcissist and all this kind of stuff. She tried to protect her. All the stuff Porsha was saying, listen to her again. I think she was speaking about herself as far as went with Shamea. She was saying stuff like, oh, and I see the emptiness in her eyes, and I think she trying to destiny swap with me until she get that spirit up off her. I ain't fooling with her. Porsha, I think that's you. Porsha can be kind of dark. She could be funny. She could be cute. She'll shake her booty, but Porsha can be a trip. We've seen her when she flipped that switch. It take 3 men to stop her. Y'all see Simon had her in a beer hug and said, I would like to take her shoes. When did her shoes come off? Y'all, when did she kick her shoes off? Down in Mexico. That was a mess. And there was glass all over the place. Know whose feet didn't get cut? Porsha's. Andre says, Bravo made 2 decisions in 17 years. The face of Real Housewives of Atlanta. Nene Leakes was the face of Real Housewives of Atlanta for 12 years. Porsha for 2. Beyonce's song, Nene Leakes, is irreplaceable. Andre, I can't wait to see Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip and what you think about how Nene does. I'm waiting to see it. Andre says, bye, Mrs. Morton. Y'all keep waving goodbye to Shamea. We're going to see. Have a Kiki. Hey, y'all, popping in. Good to see you. We are having a great time discussing these rower ladies. And right now we're talking about poor Shamea. And I'm saying poor Shamea, have a Kiki, because she started a fight and then got chased away from the table. And the little hobbit tried to help her. Kelly, I commend Kelly. I really like what Kelly did. Linda says, I saw it coming for a while. Yeah, I'm going to give you that, Linda. You've been predicting Shamea downfall. And everyone's speaking to Have a Kiki. Hello, say hello to greet Have a Kiki. Thank you for coming in during the live. And American Born is speaking. Yeah, American Born's been seeing it too. Poor Shamea. I'm ready for her. I'm already over there. Yeah, if she's ready to go, just go ahead and go. They laughing. Derry Vet says, I've been watching season 9 through 13. Porsha wants to be the queen. She went against Nene. Dear Yvette, and went against Nene after Nene helped save her job, because historians know Porsha Williams was out of here. Cordell was divorcing her, let her know on Twitter. She was out of here. And Candy and Nene went to the exec. This girl needs her job. She's got it in her. Give her a chance. And that's why I don't like one season wonders. Imagine if we missed out on Porsha, if they had gotten rid of her first season and then she had her reunion. Cordell is not perfect by far, and Amazing Grace, all of that. Everyone's welcome in. Have a Kiki. Thank you, AB. Great review. Y'all been trying to get over to IG since Linda told me it's going down over there. Thanks, CC. 13 likes, 14 in the live. Y'all please like the live, you comment, you subscribe, and the activity does help keep the channel in YouTube's algorithm. I appreciate it. Kiki spoke back. Mike Hill, otherwise known as Chill, he bet not be talking Linda Gamble. He fumbled Cynthia. She's over here with the Prince now, laughing at little Hobbit. That is residue of Brit Edie Have a Kiki. She made me laugh when she called Kelly that. And then Kelly, it just brings up how duplicitous Kelly can be, because Kelly, you started with Brit. And when you found out that Brit could not put you up in a townhome and represent you legally for free, but none of that was going on last season. I'm exaggerating. But she dropped Brit like a hot potato. Spilled all her secrets and kicked her on out the door. And we know she did. So Kelly is able to maneuver and get the things that she needs for herself and her daughters. Okay, let me check my DMs now. I'm not going to pull it up while we're on because sometimes the names are in there. Okay, let's see. Oh, here's something. Oh, okay. This is from YouTube. Thank you, Linda. Linda just sent me something. Let me see if I can get this up. This is going to show. Now, lady, are you going to... Now, Shamea still has an active YouTube channel. Come over here, Mama Morton. Remember, she was over there praying over her. They threw a prayer cloth over her, and it's Mama say, Mama son, Mama Kusa. And Shamea was over there crying and apologizing to everybody, Lottie Dottie and everybody. So this is up from that YouTube channel.
Oh my God, let me tell y'all. Well, first of all, Porsha's mom, Diane, she's my friend. She'll always be my friend. She's a sweetheart too. And
yeah,
okay.
Did you find that you had more in common with some of the ladies versus the other ones?
Oh my God, let me tell y'all. Well, first of all, Porsha's mom, Diane, she's my friend. She'll always be my friend. She's a sweetheart too. And
okay, y'all, that's our girl Millie Chun. Millie Chun. I love Millie Chun because Millie Chun is a trip. You don't think Millie Chun would be as messy as she is, and that is what I love about her. She got a Pinocchio nose on Shamea or Mama Morton by Shamea, and then Pound RHOA. So y'all, they've all seen it. And so this was May 7th of 2025. Pound Shamea, why you put your mom out there like that? So if that's your friend and sweetheart, always been your friend, at what point did your friend try to sleep with Papa Morton? So that those are questions that need answering, everybody. That is a mess. Let me get the comments, then I'll go back over there. AV is laughing. This is too much, everybody. Polite contrarians, welcome. Team Porsha, Team Shamea, what we doing? What we doing? I'll have to say I'm still Team Shamea, because I don't like to see anybody getting beaten down like that. All right, let me see what else we got going on. IG, I think they said it was going down over on IG. Okay, so let me. Okay, thank you, American Born. So we have an In the City reunion trailer. Thank you, I appreciate that, and thank you, Keywan JTV. We got some crazy stuff in there about the Real Housewives of Rhode Island. Y'all, we're going to end up having to do another, not having to do because I love it, extras. All right, so let me see. So who is talking crazy over on Instagram? Is it Shamea or is it, let me see if they Pound. I'll do Pound RHOA and see what that pulls up. And we'll give it a few more minutes and then we'll end up, this will be a really good ending place. And I don't know. Let me see. When did this person post this? No, that was before the episode. No, it was right after the episode aired. All right, we'll just go through a couple of the scenes. But I'm not going to let them play out too long because I don't want to end up getting deemed. Oh, yeah. Thank you. Yes, we need an extra. Thank you, American Born. I appreciate that. Okay, we're going to share this tab. This is more scenes at the dinner table. I want to hear more of the aftermath.
Girl, you are such a puppet. Girl, I don't want to be near you. Not at this point anyway.
I'm here.
I don't want to be near you.
Doesn't matter. When somebody does the things that she has done, you're going to make a decision for yourself.
Whatever.
You're going to have boundaries for yourself. Period.
Y'all can sit and believe that lie and that manipulative bullshit. That narcissistic.
You
Yeah, that's what you do. Let's keep it cute.
Goodbye.
She on the show now, and it's anything. It's everything's off limits. We ain't friends no more. We co-workers.
Girl, that's bullshit.
Wow.
Okay, Cece, thank you. You brought that up again. I believe Shamea here. I think Porsha did tell her that. We're co-workers. And Shamea, why didn't you listen to the lady when she told you that? People just hear what they want to hear. I don't even know that that's offensive. You are co-workers.
Why would I lie?
What are you
don't
talking
know?
about? You're the
Let me
same
know.
one with the
You
same
the same one
pleasure,
too.
and it's tired. And I see
I'm
you.
tired of you.
And I've
I see
always
you too.
known that.
I gave her the benefit of the doubt because I said, you know what, I love her.
Okay.
In spite of it all, I always said,
In spite
I'm
of
gonna,
what?
our
In spite
mom's
of what?
relationship, or any other
Shamea started it. In spite of what? Our mom's relationship. Don't bring up the moms.
relationship. So I'm new to this. What's the real reason why y'all not friends?
Pinky, you see how Pinky knows how to interject. I'm new to this. What's the real reason y'all not friends? Pinky don't have the backstory, and that's for the audience too, because every year we do get new viewers, and then some of the people, that's fine. Be a new viewer, we love it. Welcome, but don't come in and try to correct people that actually have A1 day one. Andre Shannon, so A1 day one. Some of the ones that are, I remember. The North remembers. I remember a lot of this, and they weren't. Neither one of them were there season one.
She knows how to manipulate and play. Girl, you are such a puppet. Girl, goodbye. I don't want to be near you. Not at this point, anyway.
I'm here.
I don't want to be near you.
It does not matter. When somebody does the things that she has done, you're going to make a decision for yourself.
Whatever.
You're going to have boundaries for yourself. Period.
Y'all can sit and believe that lie and that manipulative bullshit. That narcissistic.
You
No, that's what you do.
Goodbye.
Let's keep it cute.
Goodbye.
Porsha is a manipulator, but Shamea, you knew that. You watched her do that over the years. And when she was your manipulator, or when she was someone that was doing that to other people, you didn't mind. So this is Bravo Talk Too Much. I follow this blog. I like them. Queen over there agreeing. Bravo Talk Too Much. Porsha Williams and Shamea's friendship is irreconcilable after tonight's episode of The Real Housewives of Atlanta. Bravo Talk Too Much. I said the same thing. Shamea accused Porsha's mama of trying to sleep with her dad. Papa Morton, we need you to clear this up. Porsha accused Shamea's mom of sleeping with Shamea's dad's brother. Shamea didn't say that's a lie from the pits of hell. Shamea said, which uncle? What's his name? It was a lie. They went real low. There's no coming back from this. Y'all, I have to agree. All right, let me see. Dustin is a Porsha stan. I don't even know if I'm, because it's up, I'll look at it, but I don't really put a lot of stock in what he says. And that's just my opinion. That's my opinion. He says, keep in mind, Porsha Williams was minding her business and Shamea came out swinging about Portia's kid and mother. Shamea wanted the drama so she can walk away crying for sympathy. Now, she didn't swing about PJ. She asked why PJ couldn't come over there. She wasn't swinging about it. Now, she swung on Madam Diane. I won't take that from you, Dustin.
Everybody knows that. It's not a secret.
Yeah, but everybody doesn't know that your mom tried to sleep with my dad.
Okay, Michelle said, oh, Shamea, look at Drew's face. Keywan, look at Drew. She's saving that for later. They said, oh.
Shamea came to dinner with one in the chamber. This just wasn't the one to unload.
Oh, man. She's about to explode. Porsha don't play about her mama.
Oh, my God.
Y'all see the little Scottish waitress? They don't know what they're getting ready to do in there. Look at Kelly's McDowell's outfit. How cute is that? Kelly's hilarious.
Where is my drink at?
You and your mother are low down dirty snakes.
All right, Porsha, we need a new read. Low down, but at least she got it out. Remember last year she couldn't get it out. Her fillers were like low down dirty individual, but she said low down dirty snakes. It came out right.
Your mama are low down dirty snakes.
Yes,
And it comes down from generation to generation. You are slithering dirty snakes. And I kept my mouth closed long enough.
Shamea, that's wrong. I kept my mouth closed long enough. You mean as long as y'all were friends? You hid her dirt. Now you out with it. Porsha said, there it is.
I said I'm holding my mouth on it because I don't want to do that. And I don't want to embarrass her.
But wait, who are you going to embarrass? Me?
You can't embarrass a person that you can't shame a garden tool. I done told y'all that before. You can't, this right here, you can't shame her. You can't shame her.
Me? If my mama did something like that, baby, that would be on my mama. It's not true.
But every chance you get, you bring mama.
And she said it's not true. She said something that Shamea didn't say. Shamea, that's the first thing out of your mouth. That's a lie. That ain't true.
Why would you do that?
I've been sitting on this because I knew it already. And I took that home to my mom.
And what'd your mom say?
She was flabbergasted. You know why?
Wow.
Because your mom slept with your father's brother. Everybody.
Pinky said, whoop. Y'all, this is a mess. This is a mess. Let me see. We're going to find this is a good place to end. I'm going to finish the comments and then we are going to end everybody. And I agree with AB. We do need an extra. So I'll tell you what I have coming up. I already know. I have an extra coming up. Real Housewives of Orange County, the maggots. I'm going to give them a good 30 minutes. I'm going to give them a cute 30. And they're going to be getting dragged left and right. Okay. But I'll give them a cute 30. Married at First Sight, season 20, episode 1. We're in Seattle. I have the cloak over an adorable couple. I hope they make it, y'all. Y'all know I'm a romantic. I hope they make it. Some of them are a mess, but that's what we have on the schedule for this week. Cece says, I don't see anything wrong with Porsha not wanting her friend at her job. Shamea seems to always want what others has. That is annoying. Cece, I agree with that. But Porsha, as far as her not wanting her friend on her job, I think it's okay for her to not want her on her job. What I don't like is I feel like Porsha tried to sabotage her once Shamea accepted the peach. And I'm not sure it was smart of her to accept the peach. I feel like Shamea's talents are supporting role, and I'd like to see her doing like scripted TV. She's animated, she's beautiful. I love a lot of the things that Shamea does. I don't think a peach holder is for her. I think it doesn't show her in a good light. I liked her in a supporting role. I liked her as friend of, and I think she would have had a much better experience as friend of. But I agree with you, CC. Porsha can not want her there, but don't sabotage the girl. And then watching her last, she felt like Kelly was the last friend she's got on the cast right now, get taken away. And they threw it in her face. Like, Kelly, are you all right after last night? They had Kelly in there crying over that man and that $200 million lawsuit. Kelly probably thought she's getting fired. And some people still do. I don't think so. I think they'll keep Kelly. I think Kelly saved her job. We'll have to see with the reunion, but I think Kelly bought herself another season. Cece says Shamea's left because she didn't want Porsha to go into any specifics. Yeah, Cece, Shamea's response was interesting. I don't want to know which brother. I'm going to tell you, just a lie from the pits of hell. And when Madam Diane was over there, I'll start talking about the trains and everything, since y'all talking about Underground Railroads and stuff. I would talk real crazy, and I wouldn't have left. Shamea, you should have sat there and kept eating and drinking. American Born says Porsha handled that attack the best. She did, AB. She stayed seated. She stayed calm. She got out everything that she needed to get out. She denied it for her mom. Well, that would be on my mama, but it's not true. Now, Diane, did you try to get at Papa Morton? Cece says Shamea better hope Porsha doesn't divulge some tea that would raise Gerald's eyebrows. Cece, that's what my concern is. Is this worth Shamea losing her marriage and her family and her status to be on this show that she's having a miserable experience on? Miserable. April Morgan, thank you for dropping down in the chat and saying hello. Good to see you. Thank you. Turn off voice show. Okay. Porsha's a fake person. Oh, I think you were doing a spoken text. I'm sorry. I wasn't supposed to read that, but I'm reading it live, so I apologize. Okay. Porsha's a fake person. She calls on with fake Starline. She's jealous of Shamea because Shamea is going to have to bring a woman and a man for a fixed storyline. Okay, let me try to decipher what you were saying. I think you're talking to text. April Morgan, you can do that if you're driving, okay? We want everybody to be safe. So what we're saying is Porsha is a fake person. There are people that believe that. I think Porsha knows how to maneuver and put on a show. I agree with that. I think Big Mike is not real. And April Morgan is saying Big Mike is, I think he's on a script. And then they've said something like, oh, well, he's in skits. Well, no, not skits for this, but he's over there on skits. So Big Mike is not real. Sway, I feel like when I first saw Sway and Porsha on their date, and then we found out from Sway that Porsha met her like a decade ago and ghosted her. So Porsha has had this interest in women that she has downplayed, even flat out lied about, even preached fire and brimstone over, but that's always been her interest. I believe her relationship with Faye, with Sway is real. So April Morgan thinks that Portia's being fake and that Shamea doesn't have to fake anything, that Porsha is the one. I see it. CC welcomed in April Morgan. Thank you for dropping in and putting in a comment. I appreciate that. Dear Yvette says Gerald just took them all to Kenya. He ain't going anywhere. He loves Shamea. Dear Yvette, I see it too. People been calling for their divorce ever since we met them, but I don't see it. When we first met Shamea, she was young, fun, single. Her and Porsha was over there giving Kenya heck on Lake Lanier till they got kicked off the boat. That was Shamea. Shamea used to be 10 toes down for Porsha when they were at Kenya Moore Hair Care event, and somebody let Shamea know, hey, that's water, because Kenya, her finances didn't finance at the time. She was using water. She didn't use actual product. And somebody told Shamea that. And Shamea took one of the things on TV. Now, Shamea, this was wrong, but I was laughing. And she drank it. So that was wrong. But she was doing all that for Porsha. That was when Kenya Moore used to keep her foot on Portia's neck until they finally joined up. American Moore says Big Mike was fake for sure, but Sway's real. I think so too, AB. I think so too. I think that Porsha had dropped it at one of those con events, whatever the event was. I can't remember, like an entertainment con type event. It wasn't BravoCon, Culture Con. She says, well, I'm dating a man and he's fun, and I'm dating a woman and she's fun. And she kind of started the buzz for the whole season. And I think that Big Mike is fake and sway is real. So I agree with you, America Born. Cece said, Shamea is like Wild E. Coyote and Portia's like the Road Runner. Whatever Shamea builds to get Porsha, it doesn't work. She needs to stop shopping at Acme. Hey, when you running that, like they said, you dig one hole, you better dig two. Like they said, Lindsey Graham was talking bad. Joe Biden gonna be dead in a year. I saw a picture of Joe Biden eating lunch. That man was grinning from ear to ear. Put his shades on. Lindsey Graham, where you at? Looking up. Bye, Miss Lindsay. Great analogy. It is, Shamea. It just didn't work. And then the thing that makes me feel badly for Shamea, CC, I think that a lot of what Shamea has done, she did used to try to protect Porsha. Now that she's trying to get her, it's still backfiring on her. Why you throw out a mama comment when you know there's a rumor out there about your mama and half the people are going to believe it? So Mama Morton, what's going on? Have a kiki. LMA, you laughing? We're having a great time in South Carolina. Bye, Lindsay. Is Lindsay acting up too? Lindsay gets on Threads. I follow her on Threads, and Lindsay goes crazy on Threads. And so we'll do that in an extra.
Well, I do have a question. I mean, Dennis talked to Gerald and told Gerald that you mentioned that you weren't comfortable with Pilar coming around us. That was disappointing and a little bit hurtful.
Okay, that's not coming for her child. You see what Dustin said? Coming for her child. No, she said it's disappointing and a little bit hurtful, meaning I still want Porsha Jr. to come around. But Shamea should know if Porsha Jr. is welcome, but Porsha Sr. is not, neither one of them are coming. So that
Dennis talked to Gerald and told Gerald that you
Shamea, that's why Keywan J, that's why you're seeing all these clips, because everybody. Oh no, Lindsey. Oh, thank you. I thought, you know what, my mind, even though I brought up Lindsey Graham, my mind went back to In the City in Summer House. I thought you meant Lindsey Hubs. Yeah, have a Kiki. They get ready to act a fool in South Carolina. We'll see who they're gonna put in there. I hope that doctor that's running gets the seat. In the City reunion trailer just dropped. Have a Kiki, thank you. I think AB or Linda sent it to me. Somebody is in my chat with it. It's going to be a part of extras, so we'll go over that. You know, I think Gavin and Kenny going to set it off in there. So everybody that came back to join me and spent all this time with me on a Monday morning and afternoon, I want to thank everybody. I really do. If you didn't use it as a doorbell on the way in, go ahead and like on the way out. I appreciate that. If you're not already subscribed, because we have some new subscribers, go ahead and subscribe so you can find the channel again. Have the notification bell set to all so you won't miss any content. And this is a really good place. Let me speak to BJ. BJ, why are people saying Porsha's jealous of Shamea? Porsha's single, free to do whatever she wants, and she's rich. So I don't get it. BJ, I do think that, there were people in here earlier that say that I do think that Porsha does have a sense of jealousy towards Shamea. And I think that she feels like she should be the one that have everything that Shamea had. Only meaning like the material things. Because I don't think that Porsha wants to be locked down the way that Shamea is locked down with Gerald. I don't think Porsha wants that lifestyle. I don't. I think she's having the time of her life. She's got PJ, so she already has her baby. That's what she wanted. Big Mike started out with that fake storyline, like, yeah, I want a baby. Big Mike is lying. He's just doing that to get clout, or probably he'll start targeting younger women by saying, I want a baby. Because he did the same thing on Ready to Love. I want a baby. And knowing that Shay had a teenager and she was not going to go back to scratch and start with a new baby. So Big Mike, get out of here, you're lying. And Shay said, I want a baby too, and I can carry the baby. So bonus. But yeah, I think the friendship is over, BJ. And I think that Shamea finally realizes it. I feel really sorry for her. Shamea probably envies Porsha's ability to draw people into her, because a lot of the digs she was throwing at her, y'all can believe that, manipulative BS if you want to. I think she doesn't like the fact that Porsha's able to get people on her side, right or wrong. See, and we've seen people on her side wrong. When she's put hands, feet, and a scepter on somebody, she the one that got carried off the stage, like Kenya attacked her. And Kenya was the one with the hickey on her head. Cece says, I thought the ladies had just agreed to leave kids out of their stuff on the last episode. Why did Shamea bring up PJ at all? Cece, I think Shamea her mind's in a fog. She's not the brightest already. And I think that, I don't know why she brought that up. She could have had that same conversation in private with Porsha. Because I think Porsha did take it at, oh, you coming against my child? Or you saying something about, you're mentioning my child. Because they did just say that kids are off limits. Now, Phaedra piped in and said, well, not marriages if they agree to it, which means they're getting ready to start attacking Shamea over Gerald. Because Porsha knows a lot of stuff there. And Kelly, that drunken toast didn't help nobody. Oh, couple goals. Oh, I see Gerald and I just love it. I love the fact y'all together. People already think Kelly trying to pull Gerald. And Gerald don't want her. This has been a lot of fun. AB, hasn't it? They gave, let me tell you something. That's why I had to give them an extra point. Have a blessed day, everyone. Thank you, CC. Check your DM. CC, check your DM. And everybody's speaking back. Kiki says, Shamea didn't invite Porsha to Gerald's birthday. Why she wondering why PJ can't come over? Have a Kiki. I mentioned that. And I think Shamea could have changed the trajectory of the season. Porsha had the party at first at her home. Shamea showed up late and drunk with Pinky and sloshed liquor all over the house. And then didn't invite Porsha. She should have gave her an invite to the entire cast. That would have changed. It would have softened their relationship. They could have been co-workers. So I agree with you, Kiki. But thank you, everybody, for coming back. This is the second live of the day. So if you missed the first one, go back and look at it, please. Click like, team replay, and you get a chance to press the hype feature. Thank you. Yeah, you agree. And I agree too. So Cece says, have a blessed day. I will end there. And as always, everybody, I'll see you in the YouTube streets and then in the DMs, because Linda and AB and Cece will all be in touch. All right. Goodbye, everybody.
I don't think that he's good for you.
How do you know what's good for me?
That's my opinion! Don't you get it? Why can't anybody have an opinion but you? That I don't think that he's good. That I